Hello, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday. We are here. We are live. And I had a few lives scheduled to discuss this crazy docu-series that I saw. But, things happen and it ain't work out. And I'm still going to do it, but I'm debating if I'm going to do like a recorded edited video or if I'm going to do it live. But yeah, I saw this docu-series called Escaping Twin Flames on Netflix about this Lord Jesus, this cult where pretty much the cult leaders are like offering you a twin flame, a term I've never heard of, but it's basically like a hyped up, souped up soulmate. But the reason the first live didn't happen at the scheduled time is because I discovered there is another documentary covering the same thing, because apparently there were two investigative journalists who were covering this story, and one story came out first, which I think was in like a Device article. That is what the Netflix docu-series is based on. But then there was also one that came out afterwards in Vanity Fair. That is what the other documentary, which is on Amazon, is based off of. Now, the one on Amazon, I know the Netflix one is Escaping Twin Flames. The one on Amazon is Desperately Seeking a Soulmate. That is the one on Amazon. So I ended up not doing that first scheduled live because I was like, well, shoot, if it's another documentary based on this same thing, let me go watch that one so I can just get a full, like, well-rounded information, get all of the information. And I'm definitely so glad I saw the Amazon one. Now, I'm not done with the Amazon one. And like, I'm okay. Like, I'm talking about how my mind is spinning from them, but I'm not talking about them just yet, if that makes any sense. Like, this is just me letting out scattered thoughts after watching them, but I'm still going to do like a complete review of them. This is just my scattered thoughts of them. Not even really my scattered thoughts of the docu-series per se, but my scattered thoughts of human beings and like the certain topics that were covered in the documentaries. Does that make any sense? So the Netflix one, I think they are both honestly worth watching. However, the Amazon one was much more of a deep dive that I was looking for. I feel like I might have missed my calling. I always talk about wanting to do a documentary, but I should have been in investigative journalism, because I am just so, like, when the girl, I think her name was Alice, when the girl who was doing the interviews was talking about interviewing these people, I am just so, and have always been so fascinated by people and human nature. I feel like maybe I missed my calling. Maybe I should have been doing investigative journalism. Maybe I should have been out here interviewing people and, doing all that stuff. But it was actually so interesting. But let me see. Let's see who all is here. And if you are here, make sure you like the video. What's up, TG? This is going to be interesting. You have no idea. Like, these docu-series, like, I love this little, like, these docu-series that I always like stumble upon, whether it's the Tinder Swindler or like Our Father or whatever these documentaries and docu-series they have. I am just so fascinated by people. Like, and maybe that's why I'm obsessed with reality shows. But people are so truly fascinating. Thank you. Even though I don't really have like a look right now. But thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, Miss Kira. Hey, Laundry Day. Okay, you watched both of them, Miss Kira? Yes. And I did not know that the Amazon one existed, but apparently they both came out this year. I'm not sure exactly when this year. I'm just now getting wind of them. But I saw the Netflix one and I was going to, like, I don't know. Basically, when I like watch something and cover it, I like do notes and I kind of want to like look it up. And so as I was like researching and look, because this isn't one of those docu-series where like they're cracking something open that's like over. this mug is very much still active, very active. So I was like looking it up, and that's when I discovered there was, and I think I did just randomly see Desperately Seeking Soulmates. You know how you could see the little title and stuff when I was just on Amazon randomly one time, but I had no idea what it was, and I just bypassed it. So when I was like looking stuff up and researching, I was like, wait, let me go watch that one. They are both fairly short, so it's something you can finish fairly quickly. They are both 3 episodes, the Amazon and the Netflix one. And I think the Netflix one, each episode, I want to say is right at an hour. And I want to say the Amazon one, each episode is right under an hour, maybe like 45-minute episodes, but they're both very short. We talking about that Soulmate show. Yes. Well, okay. If you're just joining, I'm not really reviewing them yet and really discussing them in depth yet. That video will come. I'm pretty much just going over the general topic that these series have brought up, which is that humans are fucking desperate. Excuse my language. Humans are freaking desperate and lonely. Which I'm not even saying that in a way of like, I'm saying it in a way of like, I get it. Like, I'm not saying it in a way of like dismissive or disrespecting. Humans are desperate and humans are lonely. Like, they are. So when I say that, I mean it like so wholeheartedly. Like, humans are lonely and desperate. Yes, Miss Kira, I do too. I love a docu-series. Does it have KKK in the cult's doc? The Ku Klux Klan? Kim Kardashian? I don't know what KKK is. Which one is it? Kim Kardashian or the Ku Klux Klan? Because neither one of them ain't got nothing to do with the documentary. So I don't know what that means. Netflix came out in okay, good. So I'm not late. It's pretty early. Hey, Nikki, I didn't know you were going live. Glad I got here at the start. Yeah, this was kind of a last minute thing. I think I like set the live up like maybe an hour ago. So, okay, so Prime just came out in October and the Netflix one came out in November. No, not a white people club. It's the United Nations. Everybody is lonely and desperate. It was so many people in this docuseries that were getting scammed. White people, Black people, Hispanic, Canadians. It's people all over the place. I mean, like, Canadian is a nationality, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so the general, like, overarching theme of this. Okay, so if y'all don't know, because I didn't know, I have never in my life heard of a twin flame. Basically, these docuseries are going into something called Twin Flames University, which is led by Jeff and Shalala, whose real name is Megan, but she goes by Shalala. And they are a couple. And they started this whole Twin Flames online university. They got a YouTube channel. And all of this stuff is still very much active. And basically, they have these online courses that say, hey, do your inner work and I can show you like your soulmate. I can help you meet your twin flame if you give me $2,000 and take my course. It's basically one of those things. And I never heard of a twin flame, but basically it's a promise of a twin flame, which the best way for me to explain it and what I think it means is pretty much basically a soulmate, except it's like on steroids. Like, it's higher than a soulmate. They pretty much say that your twin flame is the other half of you, and it is a connection that like goes through lifetimes. Okay, so that's what they are promising people. And I feel like on face value, like as you're watching this docuseries, both of them, and you're hearing people tell these stories of, you know, I got broken up with, I got cheated on, I was in love with someone, they didn't want me, I was sad, I was lonely, I was looking for something, so I went online and I found the Twin Flame University. And they had to pay $200 a week, $2,000 for a course in there. You're paying all this money and you're following these two people who literally kind of just fell out the sky. Like, they have no real credentials. And you hear the people talk about being told to do certain things. And I feel like it's so easy to just be like, oh, these people are idiots. Oh, they're so dumb. I would never do that. How could you fall for that? But I feel like when you think deeper into it, first of all, I feel like there's a difference between like just being an idiot and being desperate, if that makes any sense. Like desperation can lead you to certain things that your common sense would never lead you to. And so as I'm going through watching this stuff, and like I said, I'm at first just like, oh my God, these people are like, oh my God, what the hell? Why would you? Who listens to this? Certain times when you hear about people getting scammed or manipulated, you can kind of get it. You know what I'm like? You can kind of get it. Like, oh, you fell for that. All right, you fell for something good. But other times people fall for stuff. You can kind of be like, now come on, baby, like that was. But I'm sitting and I'm thinking. First of all, when you talk about the guy who's mainly like it's him and his wife, Shalala, but he's pretty much kind of the head. He does most of the talking in these classes. It's these online classes, Zoom classes that you do. And I personally didn't find him very charismatic. However, a lot of the people that talked about him and some of the footage they showed, he was very jovial, joking. His childhood friend said how he was like the class clown. And one thing that I think a lot of people underestimate is the power of a charismatic person. I always say it is a lot more valuable to have people like you than even be smart. Like it's seriously like if people like you and they just want to be around you, that can get you into places that people that are smarter than you are better at something than you can't get into. It is very valuable for people to just like you. If you just have a charisma and a presence that people like to be around, that is extremely valuable, especially because a lot of people don't have it. Like a lot of people are more reserved, they're more shy, they don't know how to be funny, they don't know how to captivate a room. I remember seeing something that said like the number one fear of most people is public speaking. Like over death is public speaking. It takes a certain charm, je ne sais quoi, however you want to put it, to be able to command an audience and command, people's attention, and people gravitate to people that know how to do that. And one thing that I always say to like just in life with people around me, I always say I stay away from charismatic men. No disrespect if you're a charismatic man, but I say this all the time. I stay away from charismatic men. I do not date men that are charming, funny, charismatic. I don't. I feel like charisma, I be feeling like you are a narcissist, like you're a sociopath. Like when you look at cult leaders and all these people like throughout time, even serial killers, when you're a certain type of serial killers, because sometimes they can be like the loners, it's different profiles for them. But certain people in these roles are the charismatic, funny, charming people. And it's, for me, experience, it's always a dark side. It's always a dark side. And I can also say from experience, not just because of who I've associated with, but I could use me as an example. Like people tell me that I'm charismatic, and I remember someone telling me that when I get angry, it literally scares them. Like I just feel like people that are charismatic, there's a dark side. And most like sociopaths are charismatic. So I always say I stay away from charismatic men. And if I was gay, I would say charismatic women. Like it's not just men. I'm just saying my dating pool, I stay away from anyone that's charismatic. Basically, that's what I'm saying. So when I look at the people in this documentary falling prey to what on the outside is easy for us to say, well, this is like batshit crazy. Why would you follow this? And who is he? There is a power that people have when they are charismatic. And when we talk about people being manipulative, I feel like we look at it on like a grand scale, like they manipulated you out of millions. We manipulate people every day. Like a lot of people that love to say, oh, that would never be me and I would never be manipulated. I guarantee you 8 out of 10 people have been manipulated throughout their life in one way or another, a small scale, a large scale. Everyone gets manipulated. Everyone, well, I won't say gets manipulated, but I personally believe everyone is susceptible to being manipulated. It just depends on the scale. Like certain people in the documentary started off, but then when stuff got a little too crazy, that's when they was like, oh, okay, this going too far. Like it's different levels of how people can manipulate you. I personally think everyone has a weak spot. There is something you can pick at, and that's pretty much the tactic in this twin flames universe. It's oh, you have to work on yourself and go through your trauma, and then once you do the work, you can find your soulmate. So if you're revealing to someone your deepest, darkest wounds and trauma, ding, 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 they're getting info on how to manipulate you. And that's why I say everyone has the capacity to be manipulated, because everyone has a weak spot. Everyone has, I don't care how perfect or great a life you had, there is something in your life that was traumatic, that was painful, that's embarrassing for you, a lot of things. And I feel like something else that people underestimate along with charismatic people is authority. And one thing that I really think about watching this documentary was this is not the typical cult where everything was online. Everything was on, the classes are online. This man is not in front of you physically holding you down anywhere. It's all online. And one thing that I thought was interesting was my knee-jerk reaction. There were a lot of people in the documentary saying, I had no choice. I had no choice. And I was sitting there like, the hell you mean you had? Turn off the damn computer. What are you talking about? You have no choice. But it's not that simple. And what I think about when, okay, for example, when, we got all this stuff going on in Hollywood, the Me Too movement, and now Diddy and Cassie, whenever you have a victim come forward 20 years, 15 years, 30 years later, people immediately say, well, why did you wait? Why didn't you do it then? But then other people that are not the victim will be like, yeah, I was around and I saw R. Kelly do XYZ and I saw Diddy do XYZ. No one came forward, not just the victim. And I feel like what people underestimate, because it's easy to be on the outside and say, well, why didn't you do this? And why didn't you handle this way? We underestimate the power of authority. And the bulk of the people that are like, oh, why did you wait? Why didn't you come forward? Why didn't you speak up? When you say something then, I guarantee you most of those people can't even tell their parents the truth. Can't even stand up to their parents. Can't stand up to their boss. Can't ask their boss for a raise. Like so many people buckle under someone with authority. And authority doesn't just have to be a cop with a badge or the person that signs your paycheck or your parent. Authority a lot of times is the authority we give people. So if you feel like someone is smarter than you or more knowledgeable, they're in a certain position where they have something over you, this is an authority figure. So this guy is leading this class saying, I know what to do to find your twin flame. Don't question me. I'm the teacher. You're the student. So you're setting up a relationship where he's an authority, and it's not that easy for a lot of people to go against authority. I have even heard stories of people like risking their health because they're too scared to go against what the doctor is telling them, even though they know what the doctor is telling them is wrong. Because this is the doctor, he has the degree, so who am I to say anything? So when I'm looking at this documentary, all this stuff is swirling in my head. Because on the surface, it feels like these people are idiots. Everything was online. You could just log out. But then we have to look at the foundation of human beings, especially during this time. I have always felt like humans are lonely. Humans are lonely. But the demic really brought to the forefront that humans are goddamn lonely and desperate. I was just talking to somebody who was telling me their coworker is always coming over to their desk and talking to them, and they're extremely disinterested in what the coworker is saying. They just don't even look at them, be at their computer, sigh, like don't want to talk to the person. And they ended up telling me, like, I literally want to jump out of a window just to get away from them talking to me. And I said, well, I bet if you jumped out that window, as you land on the ground, they're going to come over and be talking to you. Because humans are lonely. I will never forget when that demic hit and people was losing their mind because they couldn't go to work, because they couldn't socialize, because they couldn't hug people. And I was laid up chilling. And I was just thinking about, like, people really are lonely and people are desperate for connection. Even if the other person is not receptive to the connection you are seeking, you will still try to seek it with that person. Hence the coworker that don't stop talking despite all the social cues that the person is very disinterested in talking to you. And I know someone else who was just telling me, oh, someone moved into my neighborhood and she keeps trying to be my friend and she's nice, but I'm not interested. I have like 3 friends and I'm happy. And I'll try to go check the mail and she always got to come out and talk to me. Humans are lonely. And I was trying to tell them, like, we don't get it because we're not lonely. We're loners and we cool. We got our core. But so many people like to go to work and socialize. They like to go to the mailbox and chit chat. They want someone to talk to. And that's something else I thought about watching this. These people are in this online class, sitting up like this on the Zoom, pouring out feelings and trauma that they probably have never told anyone. Probably have never had the opportunity or chance to tell anyone. So you get the chance to pour out to someone. That's attractive. Like, you finally have the chance to have this connection to someone. And it's not just a someone, it's a community of people. And that was the stronghold in the power that these cult leaders have. It's not a physical power. It's the power and threat and fear of losing the community. That's what everybody was scared of. And I feel like it wasn't even so much Jeff and Shalala. They were scared. It was the whole community they were scared to lose. Because the way this cult works is, if you are on the outs with the cult leaders, you're on the outs with everybody. Like, you lose every friend connection you've made. And of course, they do the typical thing that all abusers do. They separate you from your family and friends. So you have absolutely nobody but this community. So I just find it so fascinating how humans work, but to the point that we as humans kind of don't even see it. Like, we can watch stuff like this and be like, oh, these people are idiots and how could you fall for this? But this stuff makes so much sense, actually, when you think about it. When you think about how starved people are for connection, any kind of connection. There is a lot of stuff in this thing. But one thing that was crazy was Jeff and Shalala would encourage their members to stalk people. Well, he's not receptive and he's not texting me back. Oh, show up at his house, kick down the door. And you're watching it like, one girl went to jail. And you're watching it thinking, how the hell could you be that stupid? Like, you're fucking stalking someone. But think about it. Think about it. It's really, honestly, not that far-fetched. Because what is the one thing that is widespread and socialized and normalized that they always tell men? If a woman spurns or advances, be persistent. Be persistent. It doesn't matter if she's not interested. Just keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. It's really not that far-fetched to get desperate people and get them to stalk someone. Because of course, you don't use the word stalk. He would say things like, well, you must don't want it bad enough. You must don't want flame. It's actually, like, I'm sitting here, like, really thinking, like, it actually makes perfect fucking sense that you would be able to manipulate. First of all, you're getting people that are lonely, desperate, just got rejected. and you're able to get them to stalk people and go to hell damn to jail for damn stalking, which sounds crazy, but it actually makes sense. And even like, I feel like most people can attest to being on one side of the coin or the other, where you're not responding to someone's text messages, you're not really interested. Maybe you pick up the phone once in a blue, but it is very clear that they keep contacting you and you're not receptive, but they keep doing it. That's very normal. Or either you're the person that's like, they didn't respond to my text 2 months ago, but let me just try to shoot a hey 2 months later to see if they respond. Like, I have known personally homegirls, oh boy ain't answering the phone, they will pop up at his, like, this is not that far-fetched to think that this man was able to get them to show up at people's door despite them not wanting to deal with you. It's not that far-fetched. It actually, and it's like, the more I just was watching these documentaries, I literally went from this is crazy and these people are idiots to, you know what, this make a lot of sense. This make a lot of sense. Because we actually do a lot of this stuff in everyday life and we don't call it stalking. When Jeff would ask the girl, are you going by his job every day? Like, he worked at like a convenience store. Are you looking at his social media every day? We social media stalk people all the time, and it's not seen as like real stalking, like hiding in the bushes like Joe from You. Like, it's normal to like someone and check their social media every day. Break up with someone and look at their social media all the time. Like, it's so normal. But Jeff was able to push what we perceive as normal and just get you over that little hump, get you over. And it ain't that hard. Like, I was sitting back like, this actually makes sense. It actually makes a lot of sense that people would do this stuff. It's not that insane. It's really not. It's not that hard to see that people went from checking someone's social media every day, calling them even though they keep declining, popping up at their job, popping up at their, like, it's not that insane that these people went from A to B to C to D all the way down to jail. Because baby went to jail stalking this man. Now that was crazy, but I get it, girl. You're lonely. I understand you. Like, I get it. And then that's something else when you talk about, oh, I would never be manipulated. Everyone can be manipulated in some way, right? And I just thought about that. I'm so like, I'm looking at this documentary and I'm literally, even though I always forget the definition of sympathize and empathize. One means you've been through it. One means you haven't. I think empathize means you haven't. I do not relate to these people at all. Like, at all. Like, humans are lonely, but I must be a frog or something. Cause like, I'm that person that, like, leave me alone. I don't want to chit chat. I got my core little people I talk to. I'm not that person. But I get, I'm watching the documentary, like, I get it. Like, I empathize. Like, you have no one to talk to. You have no outlet. You're desperate for a connection. And it's also the whole thing of, we're all sold that's kind of a marker or goal in life. You're supposed to meet someone, fall in love, like, get married, have your one, and so if that doesn't happen, and they talk about that in the documentary, you're sold that's what you're supposed to do. And if it doesn't happen, now you're like feeling like you need to do anything possible to get it. Okay, let me see what y'all talking about. People are lonely. Like, they are. And I empathize or sympathize. I be forgetting which one go where, but I really do. Like, when I was talking to this person and this girl just I don't want a new friend. She just keep talking to me. And I'm literally like, we don't get it because we're not lonely. But I'm like, listen, she's lonely. Like, she needs someone to connect to. So she sees you. She's new in the neighborhood. Something about you is friendly or resonating with her. She's lonely. Humans are lonely. like Gemini twin. Yeah, it's basically that the twin flame is like your half. Like if you take a coin and you split it down the middle, that's what the twin flame is. Which I always feel like stuff like that is dangerous because I feel you're whole. But a lot of people with soulmates and twin flame, you're not whole. Someone else is your half. And I just feel like that's a very dangerous route, which is, again, why I empathize and I understand how these people can be manipulated, because how can you have a strong sense of self if you believe you're not even whole? So if you don't have a strong sense of self, of course you can't be duped and manipulated. Yeah, Jeff and Megan were a lot. They were definitely a lot. A lot. I understand what you're saying, especially in the aftermath of the pandemic. When I tell y'all, are we too far removed from when this whole demic hit? Like, are we, like, I literally remember, I was in the middle of trying to move. And I remember the city shut down. And I was scrambling, like, I need these movers. I need to get, y'all could shut everything down. Just let me get in my house. Let me get moved. Like, literally, the city shut down. Only essential workers could be on the road. You could not leave the house. You had to just be home by yourself. And, babe, I was living a life. I was grilling every day. Y'all, I never grilled so much in my life. Like, I was out in my yard grilling every day, having cocktails. The dogs, I was having the time of my life. Like, life kind of didn't really, I did the same old shit. Like, it didn't really change for me. But I completely empathized and understood. Like, I even had people that I know who were like, I don't want to work from home. I like going to work. And I would be sitting like, who want to go to work? But people are lonely. They want connection. They want to socialize. Like, they need all of this, like, communal, like, community interaction. I get it. And when the pandemic hit and it, like, separated people, I will never forget. People were, and it seems so batshit crazy to me, but I get it. Like, people were crying, saying, I haven't hugged anyone in 3 months. Like, people need people. Like, people be walking around miserable if they cannot have connection with other people. So it is not far-fetched to understand why lonely, desperate people, which I want to say this whole thing, I know the Vanity Fair girl went to go see them for the article in 2020, right as the demic hit, but it's like not surprising to me that if you tell humans who just had a fucking mental breakdown because they couldn't hug nobody for 3 months, no disrespect, I get it, but if you tell humans who had a breakdown because they couldn't go to work and socialize in a break room, that I have the answers to your loneliness, just pay me $2,000. It is not far-fetched. It is, these people are not dumb. They're desperate. And I also feel like it's counterproductive to pile on to desperate people that fall victim. It's the people preying on the desperate people that we need to be piling on, not the desperate folks. But sorry, I went off on a tangent. Let me get back to your statement. But I really am wondering, because I was looking on, where was I reading people talking about the twin flames when I finished watching it? I was somewhere online. I can't remember. It's a lot of places that I jump between. I'll be on Reddit. I'll be on Twitter, and something else. I can't remember. But they were being so harsh to the victims in the documentary. And I'm like, are we that far removed from, like, our recent, like, cities being shut down? Like, people are literally on the internet crying because they couldn't hug nobody for 3 fucking weeks. But you're calling the people in this documentary idiots. Like, are we that far removed from when all this went down? Like, are we that far removed? And I'm not even the people like that. Like, I had the craziest debate with somebody recently because they just kept saying humans need hugs. And I kept saying, that's not true. I do not like to hug people. That is not comforting to me. We had a whole, like, crazy debate. Like, I'm not even those people, but I get the people that are like, I need to be embraced and I need a hug and I need a shoulder and I need connection and I need to, like, I'm not even that person and I can be empathetic. So I'm looking at these comments and I'm just like, I guarantee you, that most of the people making these comments are those people that was probably crying because they couldn't hug nobody for 3 weeks. Because that's most people. That's the majority of humans. Isolation does something to you mentally for a reason. Okay, I went off on another tangent. Let me get back to your comment. But I just have so many thoughts after this documentary. I understand what you are saying, especially in the aftermath of the pandemic, where people were physically trapped for almost 2 years. We still crave companionship in general and connection. Exactly. And that's the thing with this whole twin flames. It's not even just the twin flame or romantic partnership. They were building platonic friendships in this thing. They had a whole community. It's not just romantic connections that humans are desperate for. It's just connection. It's just emotional connection. It's just platonic connections. Like, humans are just fucking lonely and desperate. Like, they are. And I empathize. I really do. Like, I can't even imagine. I honestly am just kind of so far removed from being that type of personality. I honestly cannot even imagine ever being that desperate for like another person. But I can still, like, when you hear their stories, I can still just, I don't know, stuff just be hitting me so hard. I ain't even gonna lie. I be getting hit so hard. Like, I feel it. I get it. I get why these people fell prey to this stuff. They had every financial area covered. It was crazy. Every avenue possible. Oh, got it, like more spiritual. Yes, the twin flame is basically soulmate, but yeah, it's souped up soulmate and it's spiritual, like divine connection is what they were saying. Nah, if I ever seek that kind of connection, it needs to happen naturally and authentically. You're paying all that money. You're going to feel pressure to follow through with this person for a payout. Okay, so see, that's another thought. Okay. So this is why my outline of my thought is humans are desperate and lonely, so they join cults and online groups. And I like the way that cults are examined in this documentary, or in both of them, because it's not your traditional cult. We don't have a compound somewhere. This isn't like Our Father, where we're all in this compound and we have our own little secret society. We're all separated. It's people all over the world in this Twin Flames universe class, right? And what I also feel why people be like talking their shit about, oh, it wouldn't be me and I wouldn't, it's already us. Like, it's already us. So let's look at the fact that, let's look at what this cult does. They sell lonely people that are desperate for a romantic partner and desperate for a connection. They sell them, you need to do work on yourself. And after you do work on yourself, you can find your twin flame. Right? That's literally the basis of this cult. That's the whole premise. That is what gets them on the hook and pulls people in. Work on yourself and you can find your true flame. Now let's look at all the online groups that we join when we're single and we want to get married, or we're single and we want to be partnered. All the people that follow Kevin Samuels and all the online advice about dating, about how to be more feminine to attract the man. Go to this restaurant and lower your standards and look for a man like this. And you're not ready for love and you need to work on yourself. Literally, that gets packaged to us every day on the internet. And we join those groups and we follow those podcasts and we listen to the advice and we try to do the work and we try to be more feminine and try to attract a high value man. And we're literally following and doing all the things that these folks fell for. We're just not paying $2,000 fucking dollars. Like, I feel like we don't authentically and naturally let connection happen. We go online and we look for someone to tell us how to date, how to present ourselves. Like, we literally do that. We do the same thing these folks were doing in their little cult. The basis of it all, which is why I feel when I was looking at people's comments, I don't understand why we don't have more empathy, is we're all freaking lonely and desperate and looking, even if it's what were those? They said in a documentary, they used to have those magazines where it's like 12 things to do to attract your crush, 10 places to meet a man. Like everyone, I won't use the absolute and say everyone. Most people go online and go read these things and try to figure out how to go out into the world and get a partner, how to go on a dating site and get a partner, how to present yourself and what to do and what to say and how to act and what standard to have and what standard to change. And you have to work on yourself. All of it is dangerous. All of it is people preying on people that are desperate for connection. Any person, in my humble opinion, that is sitting back on the internet or on a podcast telling people, do X, Y, Z, work on yourself, and if you do these things that I'm telling you to do, and you can get a high value man, and you can get a partner, and you can get a woman, and you can have a wife, it's all manipulative, and it's all preying on people, and it's just all dangerous. I personally do not like, and it is what is mass sold, that you have to work on yourself and fix your issues before your soulmate comes along. Before, of course, we don't use the word twin flame. Your soulmate can come along before your husband. Do you know how many times I have heard a woman talk about wanting to be married, and the knee-jerk reaction is, well, you should be focused on yourself. If you focus on yourself, and if you focus on your goals, and if you just work on yourself within, then he'll come and God will put him in your path. We sell people on the fact that if you have not attained the love, the partner, the marriage, there's work you need to be doing. And I personally feel that's dangerous, because there is nothing we have to do to earn love and connection. We're just do it because we exist and we're on the earth. You don't have to work on yourself. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get rid of all of your trauma. That's a dangerous slope, because what happens when it doesn't come? Exactly what happened to these people in this series. You're sold that you need to work on yourself to be good enough to be ready for someone to choose you. So if no one ever chooses you, and that marriage or that love or that high value man never comes, now whose fault is it? It's yours. Because that's what was sold, that there was something you needed to do, and you needed to be more feminine, and you need to work on yourself, and you have daddy issues, and you need to correct all this trauma, and you need to da-da-da-da-da. It's dangerous. And it is literally the exact thing that was happening to the people in the documentary. That's why I always try to tell the people around me, there is no work you have to do. There's no trauma you have to heal. You are due love because you exist and you are on the earth, period. Like, there's nothing you have to do to earn love, respect, admiration. You just do it. Because it's dangerous on the other side to say, oh, there's something I have to do and I need to work on myself. And if I just do all this inner work, and then finally God will give me my husband, and I'll finally get my high value man if I just work on myself. Well, next thing you know, you've been working on yourself for 20 fucking years and he ain't come yet. So now whose fault is it? It's a slippery slope. It's a very slippery slope. I think the world is in such a state that people are going crazy. People are in a state where they don't believe their own eyes. And that's something else when you talk about people being manipulated. A lot of times, you're a part of manipulating yourself. And we do it all the time. You talk yourself into something. I have had moments, because like I said, I'm just so fascinated by people. And I also said I hate like small talk, chit chat. I always talk to people for like a meaning, a reason. And a lot of times, one time in particular, I remember someone was in a relationship that was god awful. Objectively, it was abusive. And I remember asking them, because Lord Jesus, yada, 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 people was talking about getting married. And I remember asking them, I said, so you really want to be with this person for the rest of your life. And she paused and she said, yeah, I love him. And I didn't say it out loud, but I remember in my head being like, baby, you sound like you're trying to like convince yourself. Like you like we do that all the time. Like we're trying to convince ourselves of anything. It could be like I said, it doesn't always have to be a dramatic scale, but we try to convince ourselves of stuff all the time, every day, like we do. And so, yeah, and I don't even think we're in a state in the world where people are crazy and people don't believe their eyes. I feel like historically, people are crazy and people don't believe their eyes. It's kind of like a placebo effect. Like you're going to make yourself believe what you want to believe. Like you're going to make yourself be like, yeah, this is, and that's what they did in documentary. This is my twin flame. Whether I'm stalking a nigga and he don't even want to do with me or not, I'm saying it so it's so. But we do that all the time. Like if we like someone, we a lot of times just project what we feel onto them, then we end up heartbroken when all along it was just you projecting how you felt. Like it's a whole, like if I was smarter and like study psychology, I could really break it down, but it's like a whole, humans are just lonely and desperate. And that's just like the simplistic way that I can put it. I just got here playing on 2XP to catch up. Hi, everyone. Hello. I didn't care for his personality either, but I think she was really in charge and he was the mouthpiece. I think they were both equally in charge. And yeah, I didn't care for his personality. I didn't like how he came across. Like there are certain people. There's a reason why I said I stay away from charismatic men, because I know charismatic ass men. And even though I can like, so there is someone I used to know, and he was abusive. He was psychotic, like literally bad, like psychotic. And I remember being like, I'm never going to be around this person ever again. I don't know, like they're dangerous. They're a sociopath. But then I was around this person, not of my own free will and volition. It's like how you're like with someone and then someone is around. And literally, I swear before God, I went from like, I never want to do with this person. And even if they're around me, like I'm not even 30 minutes later, I'm laughing at a joke they told. Like there are certain, that's why I say I stay away from charismatic ass men. There is just a magnetism. And even when you talk about, just like, I feel like Black people, we just have a thing with people that know how to like really put words together. That's why most preachers are very charismatic. They know how to get up there on the pulpit and rhyme and put words together. And you don't even have to be religious, but you'll be like feeling the sermon, child, because there's a power in that. So yeah, when I look at these cult leaders, twin flames, I don't see that power. I don't see that magnetism. Objectively, I don't. However, from what people were saying about them, that is how they describe them, as being funny, as being charismatic. No, I didn't get it. I guess charisma can be objective, but I didn't get it. But Jeff definitely was more of the mouthpiece, but I feel like they were hand in hand, 50-50. I really do. Yep, smooth talkers tend to be narcissists. Look. Look, if you're a charismatic man, don't come for me. I'm just telling you how I live my life. I never in life do I pursue. If a man is charismatic, if he's funny, I don't want nothing to do with him. Like I literally don't. Nothing. Leave me alone. Bye. Get away from me. Like I don't want nothing to do with him. And it's so funny to me because I feel like that is something most people like look for. Like they want someone who's funny and they want someone that's got no, I don't. And so that's why when you look at something like this, and it's easy for people to say, oh, these people are idiots. But I think that is because, like I said, most people underestimate the power of a charismatic person. The manipulative skill of a charismatic person. So you like the men that will hurt your feelings. I'm confused. What was I talking about when you said that? So you like the men that will hurt your feelings. I don't get it. I don't know what I was talking about. I don't know. I found that those women who are quiet and shy, they have cemeteries of skeletons in their closet. I can't speak on a dating pool that I'm not like, I don't date women, so I don't know about quiet and shy and I don't know nothing about that. But I'll take your word for it. It's true. Narcissists are great manipulators. Most successful people have that gift. Right. And that's why I feel like I have said this before and someone got offended, but there are certain traits. I personally always say I don't deem anything good or bad. I don't. I don't look at stuff like that. I don't deem anything like you're a bad person and this is bad. That's why I don't believe, like when they talk about, oh, I have to do all this inner work. I don't believe in stuff like that. I don't believe in, obviously you mature, you grow, you learn stuff, but I don't believe in let me sit down and let me work and change myself. Because I don't put stuff in a binary of this is good and this is bad. So when I say like, look, I'm speaking of what I stay away from, but when you talk about people that are manipulative or people that are narcissists, first of all, I feel like we use a lot of these terms wrong. Like someone can be an a-hole and not be a narcissist. Someone can be selfish and not be a narcissist. But, and also, like, I'm also speaking from me. Like, I can be manipulative. I'm charismatic. I'm fun. Like, I'm these things. And look, and I stay away from people that are like me. I do. When we look at certain traits, and just like how you just said, like they will tell you, I was watching something and I always confuse sociopath and psychopath, but I think it was sociopath where they will tell you that like 95% of successful people are like sociopaths because there are certain traits that get you certain places. And it's not good or bad. It's not anything to be like offended if someone like, if you're charismatic and someone's like, I still, no, it's not good or bad. Like, be who you are. If you're charismatic, my nigga, be charismatic. But certain traits get you certain places. And that's why I said people underestimate charisma. Being likable will get you places that skill can't. Like someone that's more skillful might not be able to get into the door that someone who is charismatic can get into. There is a skill to being a people, like having people like you. There's a skill. It's a gift. And certain people that reach certain success have certain gifts. They get to that level for a reason. Now, you have people that use those powers for evil, like Jeff and Shalala. But it's not just inherently just a bad trait. It's how you use something, if that makes sense. I remember when I was growing up, my aunt used to tell me all the time, do you not realize like these people are following you? Like whatever you go tell them to do, they're going to do. And she used to always tell me, are you going to use your powers for evil or for good? So that's another thing. When I talk about people being manipulative, when I talk about people being charismatic, violent, angry, like all those things can describe me as well. But it's just a matter of like how you use your traits. Like I obviously don't have a cult and I ain't getting people to do all kind of crazy stuff. So quiet women are either just introverted and observant or scary when mad. And I feel like it, again, look, this is just how I think. I don't think anything is cut and dry like that. Because I feel like I'm introverted and quiet if I'm like, it depends. Oh God, I don't know how to explain it. Like it's like on multiple things at different times. I can go someplace Monday around a bunch of people I don't know, and I could be very reserved and to myself and quiet. It's nothing like I'm just like nothing against anyone. Like I'm just standoffish. That is just me. But I could go somewhere Thursday around people I don't know, and I could be bopping around and be a people person. And it all just depends on. I halfway don't even know what it depends on. Like it's just different parts of me at certain moments. But I'm also scary when mad, but I literally never get mad. That's like an old thing. But I don't know. I also feel like hmm, we could put things on people that we think they're projecting, but it's not at all. Like I literally have spent my whole life with people saying I'm stuck up, and I'm literally not. I'm just standoffish. Like it has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's not that I don't want to talk to you. I mean, I don't want to talk to you, but it's like no offense to you, but they'll be like, I'm stuck up. But it's like you're just projecting what you are perceiving of me, which of course the way that people experience us plays a part in, like, that's a part of who you are. How people experience you is as much a part of who you are as who you like think you are. They wait so long because of NDAs and power dynamics for sure. It well, in Hollywood, yeah, but just in general, it's a lot of reasons why you may not speak up about something at the time. And I also feel like it's pretty annoying to me. Like, you don't get to tell victims how they're supposed to handle, like, fucking being raped. Like, you don't get to tell people how they're supposed to handle their trauma or something that is done to them. Like, that is so psychotic to me. Hold on now. We ain't say nobody was an idiot. People do not know what they want. That is something else that I was thinking about with this documentary. People do not know what they want. And we tend to want what we're told to want. And that's also why I feel like it's comical to me when the mass reaction to a documentary like this is like, these people are stupid and it would never be me and I can't be manipulated and et cetera, et cetera. We're all manipulated or programmed to some degree, like everyone. Familial, societal, cultural. And of course, some people can be more strong-minded. Some people can grow up and start forming their own opinions. But do y'all understand how many people I've talked to that have kids and say, if I could go back, I would have never had kids. Like, I just felt like it's something I was supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to hit certain milestones. People don't know what they want. And a lot of people just want what we are programmed by family, by society, by our culture, like what we're told we're supposed to want, or what we're told we're supposed to do, or what we're told like we're supposed to like go through the world, which is also why people can fall prey. They want to get in your personal business because that is a key to being able to manipulate somebody. That's why they always say, like, be careful who you tell like stuff to, be careful who you tell your secrets to, because things can be used against you. And that's exactly what they did in this cult. Yes, the stalking factor had me shaking my baby. When I tell you, at first, now baby went to jail. Baby went to jail. But at first, that stalking, I was like, y'all niggas crazy. But I had to think about it. Because 17-year-old me was riding by niggas' houses. 22-year-old me was, if I knew you was at a certain spot, I might have rolled by if you ain't asked me for. Like, the stalking seemed crazy, but I'm seeing like, baby, we all done did a little stalking. But we don't look at it like the crazy. So, look, you ain't really lived and you ain't never really stalked nobody before. If you ain't never called up your friends to ride by nowhere before, what you been doing? Stalking is nuts. They were straight up getting folks to stalk people. But like, it's you know what's also crazy to me with this stalking thing? Which, yes, it's psychotic. Like I said, like, if you, like, look, yeah, I rolled by a few folks' houses, but baby, I ain't never got arrested and went to jail for stalking. Like, they went real far. But something else that I feel like can't really be experienced in a documentary, because you're being told a story, right? Like, you're being told events and stuff, but it's one thing to recount something, it's something else to actually kind of live it. And I feel like with this stalking thing, one thing that can only be lived and can't be retold is how rapidly things can escalate before you even realize what the hell is happening. Like, I have even been in some issue and being like, how the hell I even goddamn got here? Like, how the hell we went this far? Like, I really, like, it's when you recount something, it's kind of hard to explain it. But there are moments in life where you're starting and you're going through and things are happening, and next thing you know, you done went way out. So, and you're like, wait, how the hell? Like, how did I even? Like, I have been in full blown like war with somebody. Like, how the hell we even got this mad? What popped this shit off? What was we mad for in the first place? What was the argument about 6 months ago? We still be like, stuff can really escalate. It's so I don't think in them retelling the story of I was stalking somebody and I went to jail, these people were in these classes for years. So it's not like they joined the class on March 1st and was in jail for stalking March 15th. This is like the course of time that this is happening. And I do feel like it's still batshit crazy, but I do feel like I get how things can escalate really fast before you can even catch up with what you're doing. I get it. Stalking is nuts, though. Stalking is nuts. Get rejected, just move on. Look, child. Look. I feel like that's one of them things that's real easy to say. That's one of those things that's real easy to judge other people whose shoes you aren't in. Men kill women every day when they're rejected. Like, people do psychotic stuff every day because they're rejected. It's not as simple as saying to somebody, oh, you're rejected, move on. It's not that easy. Because remember, the whole umbrella we're under is how lonely and desperate people are. So if you're in a desperate state for a connection and you get rejected, that connection is taken from you. Does it sound like somebody in that mind state is going to just move on? Honestly, telling somebody in that mindset to just move on, that don't even sound logical to me. Like, I'm desperate. I'm on the edge. My mind ain't right. And I get rejected. The one thing that I think and I believe is the key to me finally being happy. So once that's taken from me, you really think I'm going to just move on? No, that's not how that works. Now, yes, if you're of sound mind and body, getting rejected, it's not going to like stop your world. But obviously, if we're talking about people that get preyed on and fall victim to a cult, they're not of sound mind and body. These are people that need help. And unfortunately, they went to a master manipulator for help. Facts, I wasn't bothered by the pandemic. It was a So I wasn't just, I'm talking about, I'm sitting like, babe, I always wanted 6 feet back, the back. Like, I was parlaying in 2020. You hear me? It was amazing. 6 feet, practically ghost towns. Whenever I went grocery shopping, now when I go somewhere, I'm like, people, y'all be everywhere. Pretty girl, baby, we here. When I tell y'all that is I stopped like going to the movie theaters and enjoying the theater years ago, way before everything shut down. And the only reason that I enjoy going to the movies now is because that mug always empty. Baby, when I tell y'all, most of the movies I go see, I'm either me and whoever I'm with are the only folks in the theater, or it's like us and like 2 other people. Like, we be having a whole theater. I love it because folks still ain't going to the theater. Like, I was parlaying. When I literally the other day was just looking at pictures from when I was in that house when everything shut down. I was having the time of my life. I really was. I bought me a grill for the first time in my life, and I said, like, my project at the time was I wanted to be a grill master, and I was out there grilling and spending so much money on groceries to grill. Where the hell I get all that money from? I don't even know how the hell I was wasting money grilling. Y'all, I was grilling like a feast every other day. Like, I was having the time of my life. But then I would see people cry because they couldn't hug nobody. And I was like, baby, I feel you. Okay, I'm empathetic, but I'm parlaying over here. And I love the fact that when everything shut down, they started doing the whole like grocery pickup. Oh, big child. I was like, y'all should have been doing this. Y'all should have been letting the niggas just pull up, pop the trunk, and get their groceries. And then the restaurant started letting you doing to go for the cocktails and alcohol. Y'all, look, I was having the best time. But everybody else was depressed. And I get why. I do. I love the distance. I'm not a people person unless it's absolutely necessary. Don't show up without calling for. I have answered the door like I can't answer the door like a latchkey kid. I guess that's what you meant. I can't. I don't answer the door. So see, I got it. Yes, TG, grilling and chilling. Grilling and chilling. I was having the time of my life. The pandemic was out of a sci-fi movie. Well, they actually made a lot of movies from it. I'm an essential worker. I wanted to be home for a little while. Yeah, and I see y'all had the, y'all ain't getting the parlay like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Oh, child, that's my movie. Outbreak. That's my movie. Let's see. I hug my family, hugging strangers. Nah. I don't even really hug my family. I'm not a hugger. Like, I don't. That's why I got into this debate with this person, because they just kept just swearing all humans need hugs. And they had this whole thing. And I was like, I don't. Like, I literally don't. I do not like to hug people. I could love you from the depths of my soul, and I don't want to hug you. And it be will. I have no idea why people love to like touch people so much, like rubbing people's shoulders, and like people just love to touch, and I don't get it. I hate for people to touch me. Hate it with a passion. Now, if you're a stranger, I definitely like back the hell up. But even if I know you, I need to consent to you touch me. Like, I need you to be like, hey, Nicole, is it okay if I like, I need you to ask me before you touch me. Don't just touch me. I don't care how close we are. Do not just touch me without my consent. But I don't like being hugged. And I feel like no one ever believes me because it kind of defies how most people are. And the best example I can give is a few years ago. Like I told y'all in the other live, my first dog suddenly got sick and she passed away. I was a motherfucking wreck. I'm talking about, you would have thought my mama died. Like, I was a wreck, messed up. And I remember my mama being like, I know you don't like hugs, but you need it right now. And she hugged me. It was not comforting. I just felt awkward. I don't like to hug. I don't get anything from it. It's I don't know how to explain it because most people are the opposite, but I don't need nobody touching me. That's not comforting to me. That's not the affection I want. I guess it's not my love language. I guess I'll put it like that. Like, it's not. Every once in a while, if I'm feeling nice, I'll give you a hug. Like, if you're somebody I'm like care about, because you asked me for it, and I'm like, okay, don't ask me for another hug for the next like 10 years. But I don't get anything out of it. Like, I don't. Maybe I'm psychotic. Maybe there's a piece of my brain that didn't form when I was born or something. But when I was having this debate, it's scientific and you get endorphins and I'm just like, no, I don't. Like, I don't. The endorphins don't come when somebody hug me. Like, I don't. You don't need affection. And that's the thing. Affection to me is not a hug. I do need affection, but it's not a hug. I don't want a hug. Don't hug me. Don't touch me. During those 2 years, I have stories. People were desperate. Yeah. I am not a hugger. You know, the thing that irks me so bad is whenever I meet somebody and they say, I'm a hugger, and come run. But then I'm rude because I don't want you to hug me, but you're not rude for forcing your hug on me, yelling, I'm a hugger. Well, baby, that's what you are. You did not stop to ask if I consent to being hugged. If I'm a hugger, you just proclaimed what you are and came in to invade my space. I hate that. I hate it with a passion. I hate it. And I hate it even more because then I'm a jerk for like bagging them back, because I'm gonna bop your forehead. Like, don't come too fast up in my personal space. I don't even shake hands. That's another thing. I do not shake hands. Ever since I was young, I think it's disgusting. I think it's barbaric. I don't know why the hell but that's why I was just saying humans love to touch. Humans just have to touch each other, and I don't get it. Like, why are we shaking hands? Don't can touch my hand. I hate it. And people get very offended if I don't want to shake their hand. They get very offended if I don't want to hug them. And I'm like, baby, you're a stranger. I am not a hugger. I don't even shake hands with people when meeting new people. It's just something I don't like to do unless I'm really close to you and like you, but I get it for others. Yeah, I get why other people can do whatever the hell they want to do, but I just feel like the other person needs to consent to what you want to do when it involves somebody else, and you shouldn't take it personal if a stranger don't want to shake your hand or hug you. Like, that's their personal choice. The same way it's your choice to want to hug, it's their choice to not want to hug. I found that since the pandemic, I am more agoraphobic. I don't like being around people. Things have gotten so crazy outside. Delivery and internet shopping have become the best inventions. Agoraphobic, and I think that's when like you can't leave the house, right? I think I saw. Yeah, that's when you can't leave the house. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. Because I feel like people be having like a panic attack if they even have to step on a porch when they're agoraphobic. I've been a homebody for a long time. And even if it ain't my home, like, I just like being in a home. Like, I'd rather go to somebody's house and hang out than like go out in public. I don't know. It's more comforting to me to be in like a home. But I definitely still like to go somewhere, but I need it to be like a festival, like something out and open. I like that a lot more. They essentially start off selling therapy. Yes. That is exactly what they sell. That whatever you have, we can help you heal it so you can find your soulmate. Yeah. People that are not licensed professionals. I don't know how Kevin Samuels' name came up. What are we talking about? We talking about a coat. We're not talking about Kevin Samuels. Lonely to pay $62K to meet Ruby Rose. I'm not making that up. People will pay whatever need to be paid for whatever it is that they want. Literally. And that's something else that tripped me out with stuff like this. I was sitting here like, baby, how the hell y'all even got the money for this stuff. If I wanted to go take a class that was 200,000, not 200,000, what was it? 2,000 a month. I couldn't even take it down. What the hell am I get 2,000 a month to go take a fucking class to find a song? Like, I be saying, like, where do y'all even get the money from to do this? I couldn't, if I wanted to be in the cult, I can't even afford to be in the cult, child. Let's see. People need to be themselves, just respect themselves. If one is not happy, comfortable with themselves, no one is going to do that for them. But see, and that's what got the people caught up in this cult, is they weren't happy with themselves. Borderline, objectively, I want to say they didn't even know themselves, but they thought that someone else could tell them who they are and make them happy with themselves and fix them. Dangerous slope. I always say, like, no one can tell me, like, you can't tell me more than me. If that sentence made any sense. You can't tell me more than me. But the people in this documentary were letting Jeff and Shalala, like, tell them. It was so crazy to watch, because they would actually show, whenever they had these online classes, they were recorded, and we got to see it in the documentary. And it was crazy how it's like, okay, they would be having a conversation, and Jeff would say, well, are you happy? Yes, I'm happy. No, you're not. You're happy? And it's like the person would be like, yeah. And he say, you sure you're happy? And it's like the person would start to doubt themselves. Oh, well, maybe I'm not. And I'm saying, like, baby, I ain't letting nobody talk me out of my own mind. Like, we not playing that game. Like we're not doing that. But I can see how that slope can really reel people in. Like, it's very easy to see the techniques of somebody says something. It's kind of like, y'all ever see something where someone is getting dressed and getting ready to go somewhere, and their partner say, you gonna wear that? What does that do? Like, it is so easy to see how he was able to get, oh, you're happy? Oh, you like that? Like, you're putting doubt. So now the person is like, well, wait, do I? Am I? I get it. I get it. Let's see. I didn't bat an eyelash in Kevin Samuels' direction or anyone else alike, nor did I buy into any of that. Their words always rubbed off to me as misogynistic. Yeah, any of these people, who was it? Derek Jackson and Kevin Samuels, and all. I'm just not one for stuff like that. But I equate, that's why I say it's the same thing. The people that fell victim to this cult and the people that was following Derek Jackson and following Kevin Samuels, I equate it all to the same thing. People are lonely and desperate. And if there is someone claiming to have the answer to something you want to attain, you're going to follow them. These people followed into a cult. Other people followed someone online. It's literally the same thing. And I also feel like it's easy for me to be empathetic and understand how these people fell into this ultimate flame universe cult, because it is literally a lot of the same ideologies that society has when it comes to, like, all this dating stuff that's floating online and that everybody be following. And literally in the TFU class they were talking about, he was saying how, okay, you have the twin flame, right? AKA soulmate, spiritual souped up soulmate. And it's two parts to it. You're only a half, and your ultimate flame is the other half. And once you get your ultimate flame, then you're a whole. And the ultimate flame partnership, one is a divine feminine and one is a divine masculine. There are no soulmate or ultimate flame pairings that are feminine and feminine or masculine and masculine. Literally everything they were spewing in the thing sound just like all the regular old dating shit that be going on. And in the TFU thing, he would have the partnership, and he would be trying to teach the girl how to be feminine. What they be having in all this YouTube stuff that be blowing up with 500K views, how to be more feminine, how to attract a high value man. Like, it's literally it's the same. So all the folks that be like, I would never fall for that. You done already fell for it. You done already fell for it. It's literally the same thing, just packaged differently, but it's all the same. Because people say, I think, isn't that what people say with soulmates? It's like your other half. Either way, you're made to be like, I'm not a whole person. I need to find this 1 in a million person out of the whole planet Earth that's supposed to be my other half, and then I'm complete. Same exact thing that he was selling with the twin flame. Same thing. Same. It's literally the same thing. And that's why when everybody is like, oh, these people are idiots and it would never be me and I can't be manipulated. It's happening every day. It's happening every day. Every time I go online, it's some dating-ish going around. They got everybody in the tailspin. Like, I believe we live in a mediocrity. I feel like I said that wrong. Hold on. I ain't go to Harvard, child. Let me look up this word. That ain't mediocrity, is it? I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Hold on. Let's take a pause for a little education. Because I don't know what the hell this word is. Meritocracy. A ruling or influential class of or skilled people. Like, I believe we live in a, hold on, how you say that again? Meritocracy. Like, I believe we live in a meritocracy class, okay? But I saw rich kids whose parents paid to get their dumb into school they didn't want to get into. Yes. The whole college admission scandal. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? Fill me in. Now, see, you acting like Jeff and Megan, telling me what I want. Only I know what I want. And that ain't it. Who the hell is Ruby Rose? Who are y'all talking about? Sociopaths, psychopaths only care about themselves. In fact, they have an over-exaggerated sense of self and an incredibly exaggerated fear of illness or them being harmed. Yeah, but see, it's a difference. I can't remember which one. One of them not murder people. One of them do. But I can't remember which is which. It is not how a person looks and how a person carries themselves. Huh? It is not how a person looks. It is how a person carries themselves. What are we talking about? Children become teenagers, drive you crazy. What are y'all talking about? What am I not here? What are y'all talking about? Child, no, you wouldn't. I would love to meet 22-year-old Nikki no, because 22-year-old Nikki was out of her mind, batshit crazy, and off the chain. No the hell. I got a little more sense now. I ain't had no sense back then. I was wilding out at 22, child. We have all done a little stalking, but once there is a restraining once it's a restraining order, yeah, that went a little too far. It is not how a person looks, it is how a person carries themselves. What are we talking about? What are you talking about, equalizer? Men, wise men do what in caps? I must have said something. What did I say now? What I say now? God damn it, what I say now? Men do what? Some women can be downright hostile when they are turned down. That's when you said something about rejection. Yes, I just used it as an example. Like, people do not take rejection well. It is easy to sit back and say, oh, get rejected and move on. People flip out getting rejected every single day to dangerous extremes. They flip out being rejected. Like, it's a thing. Theaters have annoying people talking or kids being noisy while the movie is playing. Don't blame. Yeah, I am not a movie theater person. I only started going back to the movie theaters because I started a YouTube channel. I went to, see movies. But I got lucky because my neighborhood theater ain't never nobody up in that mug. Speaking of movies, go see Godzilla -1. It was good. I have never been a fan of Godzilla in general. I want to say the only one I ever cared about was the one with what was it, Matthew Broderick? Is that who I'm thinking of in that Godzilla movie I used to like? Was it the 90s or the early 2000s? Y'all, what am I thinking about? What was it called? Was it just called Godzilla? I don't know. 1998, Matthew Broderick. Yeah, that's the only Godzilla I ever really cared about. I actually enjoyed that one. I'm not a Godzilla fan, but I'll check it out for my year-end wrap-up. Hugs are for friendships because it's magic. Well, I hope you and your friends have fun hugging. Good for you guys. You may be on the spectrum, no touch. You know what? I swear to God. I swear before God, I always be saying, like, I don't know. It's something. Because even like my cousin has like a really big YouTube channel where she does ASMR. I hate ASMR. I hate when they have somebody whispering all close to the mic or all the little noises. It feels like nails on a chalkboard. Like, it feels like it's on my spine. Like, I hate ASMR. Like, I fucking hate it. Like, I'll be about to, and I do feel like I'm very sensitive to certain stuff. And I do feel like it's to the extreme of how I am with touch. Like, I will flip. I hate for people to touch me without my consent. I can't even, like, I even acknowledge that it's not normal. Like, it is to a real crazy degree. Like, I will punch you in your face. Like, don't touch me without like getting my consent first or like asking me first. I can't with people touching me. Like, I can't unless I like agree. Like, okay, you can touch me. You're not crazy for not taking a hug. Oh, thank you, TG. It's nice to know I'm not crazy. Key Nikki, no hug for family. That's just me. I don't want to hug nobody. Like, I don't want to hug. I feel like, it's something with a hug. Like, kiss me, don't hug me. And that probably sounds so psychotic. Like, wait, literally, kiss me, don't hug me. Like, do not hug me. I don't know. It's something. Would you grab it around? No, let me out. Kiss me, don't hug me. I do not like hugs. I just don't. If people didn't touch each other, they wouldn't be any human beings on the planet. Nah, child, look, you going a whole nother way. People randomly touching, we don't need that to make human beings. You know what I always think about? It's an episode of Seinfeld that is literally, I'd be like, I need to put that on a t-shirt. Jerry was talking about how he don't like professional massages. I have never gotten a professional massage in my life. I don't like it. I love getting a massage, but I'm not going for a stranger. And on the episode of Seinfeld, he's talking about like shaking hands and low and a professional massage and how he not happy with all this touching. Don't touch me if you don't want to have sex with me. That's exactly what he said, and that's how I feel. Don't touch me if you ain't trying to get something started. Like, what is you touching me for? Like, do not just touch me. Like, it is so weird to me that people just love, like, people do that. They just go around and just text. Just want to text, just want to text. That's what you texting people for. If you ain't trying to. I feel exactly like Seinfeld said. Don't text me if you ain't trying to have sex with me. Like, what you texting me for? Like, we don't need to text, baby. We don't. Hugging others is awkward for me too. So awkward. So awkward. Look, this is my twin flame community. I done found my community. Y'all get me. Danny, we here. Hugging others is awkward for me too. Honestly, my immediate family never really hugged each other when I was growing up. Same. When I tell you, when I was growing up, my mother is so unaffectionate. Don't hug, don't say I love you, nothing. And I used to always be like, why you don't say I love you? Da-da-da-da. But I'm so used, maybe that's it. Maybe I'm so used to like not having a huggy, affectionate family. Then once I got older, my brain and stuff already formed. My mama wanted to start like, we should hug and we should say I love you. And at that point, I'm like, no, it's just weird. And I love my mama to death. That's my road doggy. That's my partner. Like, y'all know I talk about my mom on this channel all the time. But I don't want to hug you though, girl. She would be so mad if she knew I just called her girl. Even on birthdays, we still give each other the one arm hug, and I feel the same. And you know what? Recently, I had a cousin pass away, and I don't do funerals. I do not go to funerals, period. I don't care who it is. But I went to the what is the thing called that you have after the funeral? Everybody get together and have food. I can't think of the word. But I went there, and it's family I haven't seen since I was like 14 years old. Like, it's family I haven't seen in 20 years. And I went through and I gave everybody a hug. And I felt like it was nice to be around family I hadn't seen. And it brought back a lot of memories. Like, I grew up very much like always with my family, like huge, big family. But I turned 18 and never went around my family ever again. So it was nice to be around them, but I still feel like, yeah, hugs, I don't know. I don't get what other people seem to get from them. Like, it was nice to see my family, and I wasn't so much like adverse to a hug because I hadn't seen them in forever. So I'm like, you know what? They want to give me a hug. Okay, it's all good. But would I have asked for a hug from anybody? No, I just willingly reciprocated. We still love each other and stuff. It's just weird. I get it completely. Like, everybody expresses love differently. And I feel like I'm not affectionate at all in the slightest. I'm a thug. But I am that person that will do a ton of like emotional labor with somebody. Like, I would do a ton of emotional labor. Like that's my love language. That's more meaningful to me, comforting to me than a hug. Like, if I can have like a real, like, if I'm really like, I'm going through something like for real, and you can be my outlet, and I can like say stuff to you. If I can be like every ugly, dark, not so pretty like thing I may want to say, and this is a safe place with you to say that, that means more to me, and that's more affectionate to me than like a hug. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I rather, like, that's a connection to me. If I can have a real meaningful conversation and moment with you, I'm going to be sitting back like feeling like that's a hug. Like, the way hugs mean to other people, that's what that means to me. Like, I'd rather do that. My friends know good and damn well I'm not going to hug you. But will I answer the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning because you're crying and upset and stay on the phone with you for hours? Yes. But I'm not going to hug you. But I'll do that. That is why a lot of people are returning to church to have faith and to be with other people. Nothing wrong with that at all. 1000%. That's in my notes for this documentary. Like, people, the same thing that brought these people to this cult, to me, is the same thing that brings people to Christianity or Buddhism, or any religion, because you're looking for answers, you're looking for connection, you're looking for meaning. Like, it's all kind of the same route that gets people different places. And that was the basis of the TFU thing. A lot of it was spirituality. Now, they was confused because they were mixing a lot of different religions up in there. But spirituality, and they were saying something about, like, I gotta research it because I don't know what it is. New age spirituality, I'm not really clear on what that is. But like, that was a lot of the basis for people in that. Like, people want to congregate, commune, they want meaning, they want answers. Like, it all makes perfect sense. It all makes perfect sense. And especially when you talk about people congregating to church, this is a time in history where we have the least amount of people going to church. So if this the least amount of people going to church, they have to go somewhere else to find what they were getting there. And they say that in the documentary, and I had looked it up. I can't remember the statistic. I have it saved in my notes somewhere. But this is literally, it's a lot of things that I got from this that has my overarching thought of humans are lonely and desperate. It was two statistics. I can't remember them exact, but this is the highest number of loneliness amongst men in any generation. This is the lowest number of people going to church in any generation. So we have accumulated a lot of loneliness. We have like the lowest number of people getting married. We have the lowest numbers of people having babies. Like, we are in a time where people are disconnected and people are lonely and they are starved for connection. So is it really that like far-fetched that people would fall into a cult? That divine feminine and masculine was calls for pause. What do you mean? I'm only one or the other. Yes, Miss Kira, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. I personally feel like women are feminine and masculine, men are feminine and masculine. I think it's a duality in everyone. But yes, in the twin flames, there you got to be, one person is divine feminine, one person is divine masculine. So it was very, look, it was slippery slope. It was slippery slope because the surface level language they used was like, oh, we're LGBT friendly, but they were changing someone because they said no partnership can be a feminine and a feminine. No partnership can be a masculine and a masculine. So somebody got to change their gender. That is what happened in the Twin Flames universe. One couple came in as two women, and the girl name was Anne, and they told her, you need to change your pronouns. You're Dan now, because there cannot be a feminine and a feminine. One of y'all got to be masculine. It was crazy. That's why I'm like, on the surface, the language was, oh, we're accepting of everyone. But underneath, it was giving homophobic. Like, it was giving some, yeah. Exactly. Felicity Huffman basically called her kid too dumb to get into school. And that goes along the lines of the things we're told to want. Doesn't her daughter want like a career in TV and entertainment? Like, this was like a situation where this wasn't even necessary. But it's the look of the optics of it. And that goes into what I said earlier about everyone has the capacity to be manipulated. I just had a conversation with somebody about another person, and we want this person to do a certain thing, right? And the person I was talking to was saying, oh, they're never going to do it. And I said, well, I'm going to just yada, 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 because they care about appearances. They're going to care about the optics of it. They ain't going to want to do it, but it's about how stuff look. It's about appearances. So, yada, 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 that's manipulative of me to approach them that way. But I know that's their kryptonite or weak spot. They're very much about appearances and optics. And even if they don't want to do something, they'll do it because of how it'll look to other people. So when you have the college admission scandal, if I'm wrapped up in this, I know this person with this money cares about how it'll look for their child to go to this school. It's a way to manipulate any and everybody. You just got to know the weak spot. And everybody has a weak spot. Anybody can be manipulated. Now, not everybody can be manipulated on like a grand scale to do like grand, crazy, psychotic shit. But everybody can be manipulated. And it's so hilarious to me when people be like, I could never be manipulated. Yeah, the hell you can and probably have. I'd rather be alone. Just because I'm alone doesn't mean I'm lonely. You're not going to trick me or sell a type of person I need/want when I don't want nobody. Don't even know what I want for dinner, child. I hate trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to eat every day. But I'm right there with you. And it's also, oh Lord Jesus. It is, I understand that people crave and aspire partnership and to be married 1000%. Do I? No. Like, I would like to be partnered. I don't want to be married. But the threat that is hung over people's head, I don't know, mostly I see it hung over women's head, is you'll die alone and you'll be lonely. And it was something I just saw on Instagram. Somebody posted about something about being so happy they don't have kids. Baby, the parents was triggered. They was all in the comments about you don't have kids and you're going to die alone and no one's going to take care of you when you're old. But these are a lot of falsehoods that people believe. Just because you marry somebody don't mean you won't die alone. Just because you have kids, baby, don't mean they're going to take care of you when you old. But this is sold to people. Like, this is what people say. Well, if you don't have kids, when you get old, who's going to change your diaper? And who's going to take care of you? Baby, the nursing home full of people with kids. Like, hospice is full of people dying by themselves and they were married and they had kids. Like, I do not equate romantic partnership to loneliness. Now, I think loneliness can be no type of, like, no family, no friends, nothing. But is loneliness only something that happens if you're not romantically tied to someone? I don't think so. But I feel like that's how it's sold. Like, you can have all the community in the world, but if you don't have a romantic partner, you're lonely. That doesn't make sense to me. But I feel like that's how it's sold. Because if you, like, first of all, I feel like everyone dies alone. Like, everyone is born alone, everyone dies alone. Like, I that's what I think. I don't care how many loved ones you got when you die. I feel like everyone transitions alone. But if you're like aging and you're 70, you're 80, and you're 90, you can still have a booming like community of connections, even if you don't have a husband or kids. Like, it's very strange to me that people equate the two. In my 20s and early 30s, I perfected my detective skill. I feel like I perfected my critical thinking skills throughout my life. And one thing that I'm good at is first of all, I just really pay attention to the things people say. Like, I feel like it's a lot of stuff people say that should raise a little, like, it should at least be a question. Like, you should be asking a question. And I notice a lot of people don't ask the questions. A lot of stuff just don't add up. And I feel like my mind is very set up for like logic. Like, some things have to be logical to me. And if it's not logical, I got an issue. I remember when I was growing up, if there was a rule I didn't understand, I could sit down with my mom and be like, why is this a rule? I don't understand. And she would explain it. Like, things have always just had to make sense to me. Any rule that I would feel like ain't make sense, I just didn't follow. I wasn't really supposed to do that, but I just cannot operate with things that do not make logical sense to me. So if I'm looking for my twin flame and I go see this online course, stuff's gonna be popping out at me because the stuff they were saying, I was sitting here like, that ain't even logical. So one thing they do with the twin flame course, first of all, the first thing you have to do is work on yourself. And the way you work on yourself is something called a mirror exercise. And the mirror exercise is you take your trauma and you speak it. Nicole hurt me when she rejected me. And then the next step is to change all the pronouns to yourself. I hurt me when I rejected me. Hold on now, sir. This ain't logical. Every time it's a problem or trauma, it can't be my fault. That ain't logical. I could be a messed up person, but it is just impossible that everything gonna be my fault. Some things could be my fault, but everything cannot, like, that's not logical. That don't even make no sense. So the second you approach me with the mirror exercise, I gotta raise my hand in class. Because that is basically the whole setup. Anytime you're sad, hurt, anything negative, you're supposed to do the mirror exercise. Baby in the documentary was in an abusive relationship. Old boy was bullying her, choking her, and they just kept saying, you haven't done the work. You need to do the mirror exercise. That's not motherfucking logical. It is no way that everything bad that happens, I need to mirror it because it's my fault. That makes no sense. Like, that's not even logical. I could be the abuser and it's still not logical because it is just impossible that every single solitary thing is one person's fault. Like, that's just not how it works. We gotta perfect, first of all, critical thinking. Second of all, nuance, because I feel like that's missing. But there are a lot of what I would consider basic skills that watching documentaries like this, I sit back and I'm like, a lot of people don't have those skills. Skills of discernment, skills of critical thinking. And I'm sorry for those people. I truly am. Skills of thinking for yourself. And I personally feel like a lot of these things go to how I don't know if I want to say it. I think it goes to how people are parented. I'm sorry. I do. It is not hard. It's not a hard leap to go from your parents controlling you, to your boyfriend controlling you, to your boss controlling you, to the cult leader controlling you. You have a life where you're used to someone else controlling you. It's not a hard leap, in my humble opinion. But hey, what the hell do I know? I'm not a fan of ASMR. Okay, so it's not just me. I have no idea why that is so huge. Like, I hate ASMR. And I hate those videos where you just sit and watch somebody eat. Oh my God. Like, I could die. I absolutely hate it. Oh my God. It's like, hey, little mama, let me whisper you. Right. Yes, I'm taking a kiss over a hug. Do not hug me. I'll take a kiss. 100%. Let me see. I hug my kids and close friends, but that's it. See, that's why I don't have no kids, because I'm not hugging nobody. I'm not hugging them little niggas. Like, I love you, but I ain't hugging you. And you can't raise kids up like that, because they're not going to turn out psychotic like me if you ain't hugging your kids. So, see, that's why I can't have kids, because I'm not hugging nobody. And I wouldn't want them to be, starved for physical affection if they happen to be one of those people that needs that. Repast, that's what it's called. I couldn't think. Repast. Nah, I think the wake is before the funeral, ain't it? I think it's the repast. Thank you, TG. And that's okay, King Nikki. We all have our thing. I don't know what that's in reference to, but yes, we all have our thing. Every year I try to give my mom a hug on a birthday, and she only stands there for like a few seconds and then pushes me away. We talk on the phone several times a day, every day. Chad, Danny, let me tell you. My text thread in my phone, nobody has a bigger like little thread in my phone than me and my mama. I talk to my mama every single solitary day. We say good morning to each other every single solitary day. And if it happens to be, I wake up early every day. And if it's an off day, I can wake up 30 minutes late. My mama blowing up my phone like, what's wrong? Are you okay? You usually text me by now. We are in constant communication every single day. But I don't want to hug that lady. That's just not my love language. Yes, I look. Everybody around me like clowns me because of how tight and like my relationship with my mama, but you get it, Danny. I talk to my mama, and I feel like when you lose your parent, like you gonna wish you had one more time to talk to them. So let me talk to her and communicate as much as possible while I can. And I actually just like my mama, which I feel like is a blessing, and I'm thankful because I know so many people who like only see their parent on holidays, like don't really talk to their parent. Like I'm very blessed. I just genuinely enjoy my mother's company. Like that's my road dogging. I don't mind a hug, but it's not my go-to form of physical affection. Yeah, I feel like I don't know what it is. It's something that just it rubs me the wrong way. TG, no, I don't. No, I don't. I always end with I love you, and most of the time she'll say but sometimes she says love you too. But on my birthday, she hugs me and prays for me. So it's not weird. Every time I would move, because I'm not religious, but my family is super religious. Southern Black Baptist. I'm just not. And every time I move, my mama come to my house with her praying oil that her pastor done blessed. And she got to oil the doorways and pray walking through wherever I'm moving at. She does that every single time I move. It's not weird. That's just how that person like is. But I will say, Danny, now I'm not a hugger, but I am like verbally affectionate. So I do say I love you. But yeah, my mom's not good at saying it. She's gotten better in recent years. But yeah, now I'm a very much a like sentimental, like the one thing, oh my God, y'all gonna think that I'm so psychotic. I like if someone is giving me a gift, the thing that I prize the most is a card. I don't care if you trying to give me a diamond bracelet, where the card at? I want a card, and I want something really sentimental and sweet and loving written in it. Years ago, child, when I was like 20 years old, 21, 22, one of my best friends got me something for Christmas. Y'all, oh my God. Do I even want to tell y'all? Look, I'm not this person no more, I swear to God, but I'm psychotic. I went off, y'all, because the only thing she wrote in the card was like, Merry Christmas, love you, and put her name. And I flipped out. Like, I made a whole. I told y'all to stay away from charismatic people. I literally, like went so hard on this girl. She went and got a whole nother card and wrote me this long behind, like sweet sentimental, like yes, y'all, terrible. I'm not that person no more. But that's like my, like I'm not a hugger. I'm not physically affectionate. That's like my love language, I guess you can say. Like I am going to like write you a poem or write you a letter or give you a card, and that's what I want. And I feel like we can't love people how we want to be loved. We have to love them how they want to be loved. And that's how I want to be loved. Write me something nice in a card. Like I don't care about nothing. Whatever the gift is, I'm gonna toss it. What a card. What a card at? That's all I care about is the card. Write me something really nice. And I keep everything. I have cards and letters that people gave me 20 years ago. I got stuff from people I don't even communicate with no more. I got stuff from people I done fell the hell out with. But I'm going to keep them cards where you said you love me and wrote nice things. Don't get me started on organized religion. Some of that is cultism. Some of those churches, it's all a cult in my opinion. Praying does help. I do it. Yes, a lot of people pray. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not religious and I don't pray per se like a formal prayer, but I like talk aloud like God or a higher power, but I don't like cross my hands and like pray. Men are feminine and masculine, some I guess, most not. I think everyone has a duality. I personally do. The number one thing that I find attractive is a man that cries. Like if we could watch a movie and you gonna cry, we done sealed the deal. Like you crying, bro. Like I love that. I love that. A guy that cries, that talks about his feelings, that is emotionally intelligent and in tune. Love that. I think everyone has a duality. I think it's healthy. It's balanced. Yes. And to Dan. Couldn't even give me a nice name. Dan? Who want the name Dan? Yes. They were pressuring that woman to change to Dan, to use he and like the male pronoun. They told her you cannot be too feminist in a relationship and you gotta be Dan. Yes, it was insane. And she was going along with them when he was talking to her. And he would say, your truth, God has told me, and that's the thing, folks love to pull, child. That's another reason that I get the people in the cult. Anytime somebody pull out, God told me, folks will line up and listen. But he was like, God told me, you're a man. You're supposed to be dead. Don't you feel like a man is your true self? And she's sitting there like, no, not at all. You don't? I don't think so. Oh, you don't think? You're Dan. God told me you're Dan. And so then as he keeps slowly doing that, eventually she goes to be like, okay, I'll go by Dan. Yay! The whole class, she's and it's Dan. Oh, y'all, he was saying, and the man. That's what he was saying at first. And the man. You don't feel like you're Dan? And she'll be sitting there like, that's not resonating with me. And the man. So you don't understand that God told me that you're and the man. You don't feel like you're dead. I mean, am I? Yes, and the man. And the man, you're dead. Well, yeah, I'll be dead. Woo! And the man is dead. Y'all, it was crazy too. But people do stuff like that every day. People get pressured. You just want to be out of the situation, so you just agree. That's why it's easy to see how people got pulled in the little slope. Now that feel extreme to me. You're not gonna convince me I'm supposed to be a man. No, babe, that ain't what I feel. But he was convincing and the man to be Dan. But luckily, baby got out of agree at first, but she got the hell out of there. I don't know about that. A lot of men give off feminine energy. And I'm like, it's not a disrespect. It's not a bad thing. I think like I can be I feel like I'm way more masculine than feminine. Like I just naturally am. I think everyone is a duality. I do. But they did have somebody on the documentary that was a doctor or professor, and we're watching him throughout the doc, and I'm thinking we're just watching this man talking. All of a sudden at the end, he started talking about, yes, us trans people. And I was like, wait, what? He's trans. I thought this was a straight up, like, just like born man. I was sitting there like shocked. Like, wait, what? I would date what is it called? I don't want to say it. Okay, if you're born a woman and then you transition to a man, is that trans woman? Is that trans or is that trans man? Damn it, what is it called? I don't want to say it because he's a man, but he transitioned to a man. Is that a trans woman? I'll be messing up these terminologies. I think it's called a trans woman because he wouldn't be a trans woman. Means a person who was registered as male. Okay, so he's a trans man. Sorry. I would definitely date a trans man because I could not, like, he was just giving me man. Like, if he would have never said in the documentary that us trans people, I would have never known that he was born a woman. I'm just like, slide me your number, bro. Because he looked like just a straight up man. But I have no problem with men that are feminine. That, like, people are both. I think people are both. I don't care if a man is bisexual. I don't care if I forgot what's the term I just learned. I don't care if he a trans man. I don't care. Like, I just don't. I think everyone is male and female. Or no, not male and female. Feminine and masculine. On TV, I believe that guys do act feminine on the... Who on the news? What are y'all talking about? Who acting feminine with the news broadcasters? People being manipulated, just remember, never make the same mistake twice. Child, I done made the same mistake 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, 150 times before my black ass learned. And you know what? Maybe that's why I'm such a like non-judgmental person, because I feel like I done did all kind of like, child, I can't judge nobody. I have not don't make the same mistake twice. Child made the same mistake 1,100,000 times, and my hard-head ass took forever to learn. So I can't judge nobody. Go ahead, make the mistake as many times as you need to make it. I don't know what I said, but that's the spirit. And one of the worst forms of loneliness is when you're in a relationship. Yeah, Nicole, yes. That's when they try to, put that thread of, oh, you'll be lonely. Baby, I see people lonely in relationships every day. I do. And I feel like, you know what? So I'm so happy that my friends don't watch my YouTube channel. Because even though I don't say nobody's name and I make it very obscure, they would be mad because they wouldn't know I'm talking about them. But child, I got somebody around me that in a long-term relationship and got so offended because I was having a conversation and I was saying how I don't want nothing to do with like marriage and da-da-da-da. And I was like talking and they got upset and was like, well, me and my person, we're a great example of a relationship. Why didn't you tell them that? And I'm sitting here like, bitch, no, y'all ain't. Like, I be looking at relationships around me like, this what y'all out here giving niggas $2,000 for? Because y'all want this? I'm good on that. Like this what y'all no. No, 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 no. No. Baby. And I feel like honestly, I wouldn't even really care about getting married if getting divorced wasn't so hard. I got an aunt that got married like 5 times, and she would say she gonna keep doing it till she get it right. I'm right there with you, auntie. Keep doing it till you get it right. The only reason, well, not the only reason, but the big reason I don't want to get married, because I wouldn't care. Okay, let's get married, child. We can always get divorced. Sorry, that's how I feel. I know people feel like marriage is forever. Baby, we can always get divorced. But one of the reasons I do not want to get married is because I have seen everything people have to go through to get divorced. Like, I'm not going, it'd be too much. It'd be too much. It'd be too much. I got somebody around me. I'm sitting like, baby, you've been getting divorced for about 4 years. You ain't divorced yet. Then there's somebody else I know who got divorced. Baby, do y'all know the IRS came after them because of their wife tax debt? Money, God, you crazy. That is one of the top reasons I do not want to get married. Ain't no way in hell Uncle Sam about to come after me for your tax debt. My baby, you crazy. You crazy. Like all the rigmarole and all the things that go into like the logistics, the paperwork of being entangled legally with somebody. No, baby. No, I don't want to go through that. No. But if it wasn't for that, if it was like real easy to just get divorced, all right, y'all, come on, let's get married. Why not? Like, why not? Let's have a wedding. Let's have a pretty party. It really wouldn't be no thing to me. But all the stuff you got to go through with divorce, that's for the birds. That's for the birds. And do y'all know, I found out, because I know somebody that got married and changed their last name, it would be easier for me to change my name than it is for them to change like their married name. And I was like, wait, what? Yeah, they make all that stuff really crazy. Like, really, it's a lot. I saw that too. The comments were crazy. Y'all having kids for selfish reasons. You don't have kids just to have somebody to take care of you when you're older. Step into the 21st century, please. You know what? Somebody got upset with me because y'all know how people say that you have kids and then you free when they turn 18. I said that I was like, well, that's kind of disgusting. Like, I would hate for somebody to be raising me and like counting down the clock till they could be free. Like, as if I'm some kind of like burden you can't wait to get to the finish line. Like, oh, I can't wait. Like, if you can't wait for me to be 18 so you can be free, then just don't have me and stay the hell free. Yeah, that ain't go over too well with this person. They got pretty upset. But I just feel like that don't sound twisted to you. That you sitting here saying you can't wait for your kids to be, first of all, I feel like you a parent forever. Like, it ain't no, oh, they 18 and now you ain't a parent no more. I just feel like that whole thing is very weird to me. And I would never want my parent to be saying like, oh, I can't wait till you 18 and then I can go be free. Well, you just should have never had me and just stayed the hell free. But yeah, and I'm understanding why people with kids don't like talking to people like me without kids, because they got real bad. But people have kids for a lot of reasons. But even if you're like somebody else got upset with me for this, I feel like even if you're the greatest parent in the world, everybody that has kids for a self-serving reason. Like, you want to have kids. You like, any reason to like have kids is all self-serving. They aren't even around to like, you're making this decision because it's something you want to do. So it's self-serving. You want to be a parent. You want to be a mom. You want to be pregnant. You want to have kids. Like, it's all self-serving. And that's not a negative thing, but that's how, I see it. But hey, I don't have kids. What do I know? Marriage is about continuing a family name, two people looking out for one another, raising children to be good people, create family history together, love one another. I completely disagree. Marriage is like on Game of Thrones, on House of the Dragon, when you say we need to pair this family with this because they got power and resources, and then y'all got something we want. That's historically why people was getting married. Because we need to mix. I need your fortune, and I need your power, and I need your resources, and let's merge. Like marriage is like a business contract historically, if you ask me. But hey, what do I know? I'm not married. I'm not the guru. And I was just telling somebody the other day, I do not think you should get married for love. I don't. I don't. Should love be in the equation? Yes. Should love be the reason? No. Like, just live with each other. Like, if you just love each other, just live together, child. I feel like females are more of the hunter-gatherers, where men are now the. How we get here? What are we? This ain't the dating chat. This ain't the Twin Flames YouTube channel. How we get here? Like, okay, let's just go. Don't listen to. Come on, let's do Nikki's terrible dating advice hour. I feel like females are more of the hunter-gatherers, where men are now the ones that want to stay home. Not all, but it seems like the gender roles have flipped, so the feminine masculine is off. I disagree. But I'm not really one that believes in traditional gender roles. That's just me. Females are more the hunter-gatherers. Presumably that means the ones going out to work and men staying home. Now, I did see something where this guy is like a stay-at-home dad and his wife works. I see nothing wrong with that. Do I think that's like the norm, though? No. Every relationship around me, the man goes to a job. Some of the women do, some of them don't. And they're not even married. I have somebody around me who's dating and lives with her boyfriend, and he told her she doesn't have to work, so child, she stopped working a few years ago. So yeah, that's not really what I'm seeing, but hey, I could be wrong. That's just the people around me. I don't know the statistics on that. I do know I saw statistically more women are in college than men, and more women are starting businesses than men. I did see that. But just because a man ain't starting a business don't mean he just sitting at home and ain't working, child. So like I said, I don't know the statistics on that one. Nope, not bullying myself. That's what they was doing with that mirror exercise. Unfortunately, these days, people are talking a lot of psycho about. Yes. Yeah, using words and stuff. Leave it for the professionals, child. Like, it's somebody, I have like somebody in my family that is literally bipolar, like clinically bipolar. And I have somebody in my family who like professional, like professional, which narcissism isn't something that is diagnosed, but they were told, and when I see people like on one, I feel like it's one of those things where information is good and information is bad. Like people are learning things like gaslighting, and so it's good that people are being educated. It's good that people are understanding certain signs of abuse, but it's dangerous when we have information we don't understand. And it's dangerous when we weaponize information. Like you can take a lot of jargon and use it to manipulate someone. Explaining relationships that they really know nothing about, just my opinion. I completely agree. And that's why anytime I was like, look, this is my opinion. This is how I feel. Like, I can't tell nobody else nothing about nothing on nothing, child. Look, I'm just a screwed up person living my screwed up life, and I can't judge or give advice on nobody else's screwed up life. I agree, it's how the parents raise them. I mean, I ain't want to say it because I don't have kids and I got enough parents mad at me when I say my little stuff, but I feel like I gathered this data because when I look at certain things with like people I was raised with, people I was like, majority of the people I know, I have known like my lifetime. And it's like when people talk about like gentle parenting, before I ever even heard of like the internet running with that term, my mother was definitely like gentle parenting. And I remember, it's my mother caused so much hell from other adults. Why you let her have an opinion? Why you let her da da da? It was crazy. But when I look at the fact that I was raised with a lot of autonomy, I was allowed to have an opinion, voice my opinion, disagree with my mother, obviously respectfully, but I could question things and she would actually listen. And then if she felt like she was wrong, she would apologize. Do you know how many people around me are like, my parent has never apologized to me, even when like they were blatantly wrong. And I remember, I'll never forget doing some bullshit when I was a teenager. And my mother saying, I know you. And if you ever get into something, I know nobody can talk you into anything. You got yourself into it. And that is so true. I was never a like peer pressure kind of person. Like I could give it. You know how many times like I didn't want to do something, somebody would be like trying to like say something. I'd be like, fine, okay. Man, you gonna be a punk. All right, man. I guess I'll be a punk. Like that stuff doesn't faze me. But when I look around when I was growing up, do you know how many times when I was a teenager, like my female friends would be like, I didn't want to have sex with this guy, but I just did it because he wanted to. Or I kept trying to say no, but he kept pressuring me. I feel like it's my mind. Like I said, I'm fascinated by people and I have a need for things to be logical and I have a need to understand things. And I was like the oddball. Like literally, I'm not exaggerating. Every single person in my circle and that I was close to all grew up in a house with their mother and their father. I was the only person who like dad abandoned me and I was just with my mom. But when I looked at the people around me, and people would always say, oh, you didn't have your dad, and then you're going to have, what do they call it? Daddy issues, and you're going to have, I had a teacher tell me that I would have dysfunctional relationships with men for the rest of my life because my dad wasn't around. Like, I had a teacher tell me that. But when I looked around at the people around me, baby, they raised in the house with their dad. They had the most dysfunctional, abusive, like relationships with men, like coerced by men to like do stuff they didn't want to do. And I feel like the foundation, yes, I did stupid stuff. I made mistakes like any young person does. But I feel like I was saved from a lot of traps the people around me fell into because I was raised with such freedom and I was raised with such a strong sense of self. So since I had a natural kind of, I want to say rebellion, and my mother kind of nurtured, like, it's okay for you to question authority. She would always tell me, don't do something just because an adult tells you to. Don't do something just because someone in authority tells you. I remember my mother telling me that when I was like a little kid. But most people around my race, with an adult tells you to do something, you do it. You don't question it. And that's why I say it's an easy slope to go from your parent controlling you to your boyfriend or girlfriend controlling you to your boss to somebody else in authority. Like it's an easy slope. And obviously a lot of stuff plays a part. You can have very traditional parents and not be a person that falls into stuff like that. If you know, people have a certain mindset. So it's not one size fits all. But it's just how my mind works, and I'm looking at the people around me as I'm growing up, and like my mother called hell because she didn't believe in hitting her kids. People around me used to get their ass beat, and I'm sitting here like I'm actually like a good human being. Like I'm sympathetic. I don't deceive and lie and do. I look at the people who's getting their ass beat growing up, and they're sociopaths. Like they're not very good human beings. I'm sorry. Like they're not. They're not. So it's like, why was your parenting so much better than my mother's when like I think I'm a pretty decent human being and your child is very wayward. So when these people are in this documentary and they're letting someone tell them what's good for them and tell them who they are and what they should want, I think back to being 12 years old and my mother letting me make decisions. And I think back to the other 12-year-olds around me who had to just do whatever their parent told them was good for them. And then I look at us when we're 16 and us when we're 20 and us when we're 30. And that's the common thread that I pulled from it. And of course, like I said, everyone is different. So just because someone got beatings, or it doesn't mean they're going to be a certain way. But the people that I have seen, I look at this documentary and I'm empathetic because I think of how a lot of people are indoctrinated into a culture of not questioning authority, not having autonomy over your own being, not being able to think for yourself. Why? Like, it's like you never worked those muscles. How? And then suddenly you turn 18 and become an adult and you're supposed to start working those muscles. Some people in this cult had just turned 18, were very young, came from traumatic backgrounds. So all of that plays a part in how a person is shaped, how you see the world, how you see yourself. So that's why I can't just watch something like this and be like, oh, these people are stupid. Like, yeah, they made some stupid decisions. But I just feel like I just have to always go to, well, why? Well, what led this person here? Well, what happened when you was 5? I don't know. Like, I'm that person. Like, even if somebody does something like really shitty to me in real life, I'll sit back and be like, well, you know, her dad was military. Yeah, he was very controlling. Yeah, you know, she not used to do it. You know, like I'll just start spiraling on, I don't know. My brain just works like that. Like I like to kind of pick people apart, see what makes them, see what makes them tick. I like stuff like that. And not always, but 74% of the time, you can trace it back to how people were raised. And that's not even to say they had terrible parents. No, not at all. But in my opinion, a lot of parenting ideals are rooted in control. Yes, mukbang. That's what I couldn't think of. I hate those. I do not want to watch people eat. I'm set on not having kids anytime soon, maybe even ever. It's a lifetime commitment. Yeah, yes, it is. I'd be too nervous every day over that big of a responsibility. My 1-year-old niece slaps her parents awake most days. What the world? Now she pimp slapping the parents? What in the world? Yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't want to have kids, but I've also just come to terms with the fact that ship has sailed for me. But The only thing I would, I kind of look differently at the ethics of adoption, but if some way there was like some unwanted child around me, that's the only way. Never say never, but right now in my mind, that's the only way I would ever be a parent is if there was like a child in need around me that needed a home. Outside of that, I mean, ain't no child coming out my cootie cat. Like I can say that for a fact. But yeah, and I feel like I also think about, and I feel like people probably was thinking about this in the 40s, 50s, 30s, 60s, but I be saying like, what state is the world even gonna be in 30 years? Like, would I even want to bring a child into the world? Like, what world would they have? But I'm sure every generation probably had thoughts like that when it comes to having kids. But I just feel like I am just not, I'm not nurturing, I'm not mother material. Like it's just not for me. I like being selfish. I love being selfish. And selfish is my bag. You can't really be selfish with kids. The wake is just after the funeral. All right, child, was the repast of the wake. Child, it was something after the funeral, child. The older the kids get, the less they want to hug. Not always. I know some people that's very affectionate be wanting to hug. But a lot of people do go through that teenage phase and don't want to do with their parents. Y'all, somebody Google it. Somebody Google it. I'm telling you, Key Nikki, not hugging family or kids, that's just mean. Me, look, everybody around me calls me mean, so I guess that's a hat I have to wear. But if it's mean to set my boundaries, then I'll be mean. What the heck? Okay, now come on now, child. Y'all going too far. Y'all going too far. Yes, 1000%. 1000%. We need to be able to sit down and I see you cry on the movie. And you don't have to like boo-hoo Kim Kardashian cry, but you need to drop one thug tear. Like your eyes need to water up and I need a tear to come down. Or you're not going to get far with me. I don't think people crying is uncomfortable. It's natural. Now, what is transsexual? Yeah, I don't know. Look, I support everybody. I just don't know the terminologies. Like, I don't know what the hell transsexual is. Somebody was just telling me the word pansexual. I was like, what the fuck is a pansexual? What is y'all doing with the pots and pans? Y'all going too far now. Let me see. Transsexual people experience a gender identity that is inconsistent with their assigned sex and desire to permanently transition to sex or gender. Yeah, that's like trans people. Yes, I know what that is. I just didn't know transsexual. Okay, yes. But I was trying to figure out what it's called if you like which gender, like trans woman, trans man. That's what I was looking up earlier. Have you watched May December on Netflix? Never heard of it. Let me see. Never heard of it. I haven't seen anything new because I was on a reality TV binge. I was binging Love After Lockup, and I haven't really been watching any comedy drama. 20 years after their notorious tabloid romance gripped the nation, a married couple buckles under pressure when an actress arrives to do research for a film about their past. Nothing about that is intriguing me. Oh, this guy cute. I know this actor. Natalie Portman, Julianne Moore. And I haven't heard anything about this at all. I'm not bothered by men crying. What's wrong with that? I don't see nothing wrong with it. Men are humans who have emotions. I always say the same thing and should be able to show them rather than appear quote unquote masculine and hard. Don't be closed off. That goes nowhere. I'm right there with you, Danny. Right there with you. Hope Nikki's aunt finds the right. Yeah, yes. Yes. And she says she gonna keep doing it till she get it right. That's what I'm talking about. Wait, an aunt married 5 times. I hope she ain't giving out marriage advice. That's the best person to give advice. What you mean? The best people to give advice are either people that succeed at something or people that fail at something. Those are the best people to give advice. What you mean? Them the only people I want to ever hear from. If you haven't failed at something or if you haven't succeeded at something, I don't want to hear from you. Like, I don't. Because what you got to tell me? Shoot, not really free at 18, but I'm not that kind of parent. I got my kids in one way or another forever. Child, let me tell you. It's been decades since I've been 18, and my mom ain't done parenting me, child. Do not in it. You gonna always worry about your kids. Like, I saw something where somebody said they are only as happy as their unhappiest child. That don't stop when they turn 18. And I kind of feel like you probably worry more when your child over 18, because now they're not under a roof, they out in the world, you don't know where they at, what they're doing, what's happening, who interacting with them, who hurting them. Oh, that would be so stressful to me. So that's another reason why I can't have kids. Because I would be spiraling. I would be spiraling so bad. I would be spiraling. King Nikki went Game of Thrones route to explain marriage. I'm just saying, that's like, marriage historically is not for love. It's supposed to be a strategic, decision. I apologize to my kids. The more kids I had, older I got, and more I learned, the better parent I became. 1,000%. 1,000%. I think it's very important to like apologize to your kids. It teaches them. Then start gentle parenting with my first. It was someone I was talking to, and both of her kids are grown. And I hate how hard she is on herself, but she kicks herself a lot for how she raised her kids. But she, like, people have certain views at certain times, and then you grow up and you learn and you experience the world. But she like did corporal punishment. She beat her kids, and then now much older, she wishes she hadn't, and she looks at things different. But you do the best you can with what you know at the time. That's all anybody can do. Both my parents would never apologize, even when they were wrong. They were louder and the adults, so they were right. But I never followed anyone and rarely fell to peer pressure. That ain't me at all. Yeah, and it's like certain people. I was reading about something, and it was talking about it's like a word. It was like a word for certain personality types, right? And it was trying to talk about the way to parent each personality type, and then the worst way to parent those personality types, and how it can change the person. Well, one personality type, even if you had the parent you were supposed to have that's best for your personality type, or if you didn't, only this personality type was the one that couldn't be changed, and it was the rebellious. It wasn't called rebel. Like I said, it was certain words, but basically this was the personality type that was just born more rebellious. So even if that personality type has very authoritative upbringing and parents, they still just naturally cannot have, like, no one can dim that essence in them. So that could be, you could be that personality type in that spot, is that person that just and that's why I'm like, I feel like I just had a natural, but I had the type of parent that nurtured it. But even if someone has that and they don't have that parent that nurtures it, and maybe you have like a parent that kind of tries to shut that down, they still can't ever put that fire out of that personality type. But it was saying how the other personality types can end up being like molded and changed from their natural self, and that they would have a lot of trouble through life because they would have to try to find their way back to who their natural self is and not who they were like molded to be. It was really, really interesting. It was really interesting. I don't know how people parent kids, because I'm just like, it's a lot. And that's why I'm like, even people I talk to who like, it's quite a few people I talk to who like regret the way they raise their kids. And that's why I'm like, being a parent is so, it just sounds so daunting to me. Because you could think you're doing everything right, or you have all this information, but then 20 years pass and you learn new info and you could regret how you did stuff. It's just, it sounds so daunting to me to have to be in charge of like little human beings that are going to go out into the world and affect other. Child, more power to y'all. It sounds stressful. I just cannot. I'm an uncle to 2 nephews, 9 and 11 years old, so I understand the feeling of trying to be a better parent. If I know I'm right, you can't change my mind. And if I don't want to do something, I'm definitely stubborn as hell and I won't do it. You know what? It's so funny because I have always been the type of person. I remember, who was it? I think it was me, my mom, and my little sister was talking about like me and like what would be the ideal guy for me. It was such a funny conversation. But my mother was saying that if I even think that the guy is trying to control me, I'm going to rebel. And it's like, that has always been my, like, if I even get the inkling, even as a young child, if I even get the inkling that anybody is trying to control me, I have to rebel. It's like, I can't even control it. If it's like, I don't like going to clubs, not my scene. But let's say I'm dating somebody and he like, yeah, I don't want my woman in the club. I'm gonna go to the club, even if I don't want to be there, because I just need everybody around me to know you're not gonna tell me what to do. And I have literally been like that since I was a kid. Like, as a kid, it's like, I take my punishment, go ahead, because I just need you to know that I'm gonna do what I want to do. But honestly, I feel like if I had kids, I would want to raise rebellious kids like that. Like, even if you're rebelling against me, because I just think a trait like that is so important in a world that tries to like control you. I think it's important. But whether I think I'm right or wrong, you're not changing my mind. Now, if you say something, it's going to either resonate with me or it's not. But yeah, it ain't too many people that I'm going to listen to. Like, it's just not. Like, I have to really have a like real respect for you to be somebody that I actually listen to, because I don't listen to nobody. Now, I'm not one of those people that think I know everything. I don't think I know nothing. I don't know nothing. And the day I know everything, it ain't no use for me being on the earth. But I still don't want to hear nothing nobody got to say. Like, don't tell me nothing. Don't tell me nothing. With age comes wisdom along with life experience. I didn't know what the hell no pansexual was. It sounds crazy. I was just playing about the kids. I know, child. I'll explain this. Men should not cry openly. If a man does cry, he does it in his privacy. I completely disagree. The husband was 23 years her junior. Wait, what? What are y'all talking about? Oh, that Netflix movie. I think you should be strategic when picking a mate, but make your strategy include finding the right one for you. I don't think that people should listen to any how to find a man, how to find a woman, how to date, how to be it. Just go out into the world. Like, just go out into the world. Same. I think about that all the time. Do I want to bring life into this messed up world with nuclear weapons and constant threats of war, nature slowly dying off? You can't tell me apocalyptic. Look, child. Like, I hope not. I would like to enjoy the world and live my life. I don't want it to end, give us more trillions and trillions of time. But yeah, I do be thinking about, child, y'all brave for having babies. Like The Walking Dead or I don't want to live in Mad Max time. I don't. I never thought I'd marry. Guess what? Yeah, that's why I'm not a fan of like saying never. There's a lot of things that I have proclaimed very loudly, or I would never do. And baby, I did. I did. But I also simultaneously feel like I know myself. And one thing I think about, because people, oh Lord Jesus, child, people always tell me, yeah, you just haven't met the right person. You're gonna want to get married when you meet the right. Oh, y'all, people always tell me that. But you know what I think about? I think about when I was a teenager and I didn't want to go to prom. And every single solitary adult around me kept saying, it's a once in a lifetime experience. And if you don't go, you're going to regret it. And everyone loves prom and you need to go. I didn't want to go. And I was asked to prom by a very attractive guy. And I still ain't want to go. It just was not my thing. And I did not go. And guess what? 30 years later, everybody said, you're going to regret. I don't regret it because I know myself. So that's how I feel when I say, like, I don't want to get married. And everyone is like, you just haven't met the right person. And yes, everyone wants to get married and every woman wants to get married. And I'm just like, all right. The same way y'all told me that everyone wants to go to prom and it's once in a lifetime. And if you don't go, you're going to regret. No, I don't regret not going. I don't even think about prom. Like, who gives a, like, that was like, I'm so far from 12th grade. Like, I don't care. Like, I really don't. I also didn't want to walk at graduation. Like, I hated school. Like, I didn't want to be involved in none of that. I didn't want to go do nothing. But my mama made me walk at graduation. I didn't want to. And to this day, if I would not have walked at graduation, I wouldn't regret it. Like, I mean, I got a diploma. But I feel like people love to, like, project stuff onto you. Like, if you didn't do something and regret it, you feel like anybody else proclaiming they don't want to do something. Oh, yeah, you really do. And you're going to regret it. It's the same way I hate for people who had like a really bad marriage to rain on other people parade who want to get married. Like, you had a bad experience. Don't project that on other people. I don't like that. That's not right. That was your experience. Your marriage was terrible. So don't project that on other people that want to get married. I really don't like that. But people do that all the time. And I feel like some people might feel like they're helping because like their marriage was so terrible and they just want other people to avoid. But if that's the person's fate, look, let them go live. You got to live your life. Let them live theirs. What is MM time? I can't think of nothing. I never went to prom. Did you not go because you didn't want to go? I didn't care nothing about prom. It's just not my judge. You never know. I met the love of my life and she still is the love of my life. Yeah. If I meet the love of my life, that still don't mean I got to get married. You could still be the love of my life and we don't be married. I mean, that's just me personally. I don't want to get married. But you could be the love of my life, but I don't want to get married. All my proms were like, why are teachers and staff there? If you don't want the teachers and staff, you should have just went to like a high school party. It's the prom. The staff gotta be there. They just sat and ate. They acted like they acted like we were going to right there in the hall. Now we took mad pics like we were on the red carpet. Yes, people be turning up for prom. I love seeing all the pictures that come out online when everybody be all dappered out and doing it big for prom. That's really cute. Like, have your moment. Oh, Mad Max. Okay. Now, how the hell was I supposed to equate MM to Mac? Come on, child. Use known acronyms. Don't take a teacher as a date to prom. What are you talking about? Y'all be spiraling, child. Y'all be going all kind of places that I don't even know why the hell y'all going there. Like, I don't know what be happening. I really don't. I don't know what be happening. I'm just here popping the comments on the screen. I ain't even a part of this. But I got so sidetracked because I was actually going through thoughts on this on these two documentaries. But then I started reading comments. I feel like I started reading comments like an hour ago. I never got back on topic. But yeah, I started reading comments like an hour ago, and now I just don't even remember where the hell I was or what I was talking about. We done went all the way the hell to something else. But I am going to do like a formal review of, what were they called? I keep forgetting the names. It's the two Twin Flames documentary. Desperately Seeking a Soulmate, the documentary on Prime, and Escaping Twin Flames, the documentary on Netflix. Both documentaries are about the Twin Flames universe, the cult. And I am going to do formal review. Again, I don't know if it's going to be live or if it's going to be edited. Because it's so, like, my notes for both of these documentaries are freaking extensive. So yeah, I might have to sit down and do a full like edited video so I can like, cause I feel like if I go live, that it might be a 4-5 hour live. Like it might, cause y'all, I got a lot of thought. I got so many notes. But yeah, I done got sidetracked. But it just pretty much, my head was just spiraling with a lot of thoughts watching this, and just, and you know what, it's not even just the documentaries which they sparked it, but I feel like it's like dating culture right now in general, with like the podcasts and all the online like YouTube videos of like dating and how to get a high value man and all the rules for it's. I just be sitting back and really just thinking about the fact that humans really are lonely and desperate. Like, they really are. And even when I look at, like I said, the statistics on the fact that humans are the loneliest they've ever been historically. People, it's like the least partnerships historically. And see, this is why I kind of feel like I need to do an edited video, because I need to pull up all these stats. Like, this is the loneliest time in like recorded human history. like people is just out here, and you would think with the internet we would be the most connected, but we're the least connected. And it's so crazy how we have all this technology so that people are like at our fingertips, but it has seemed to have the opposite effect. And that's interesting to me. See, and that's what I mean. I could just start really spiraling down some of these thoughts. How to get a high value man means how to get a man with lots of money, and some of these women have unrealistic ideas about that. Now, see, let's get back to Nikki's terrible dating advice. I completely disagree with stuff like that. unrealistic. I kind of feel like, who am I to tell somebody else what's realistic for them? Like, who am I to tell somebody else what their standards should be? My cousin had posted something on her social media because there was something going around with some girl who was saying how she doesn't date a man that makes less than XYZ. And everybody up in arms about it. And I'm just kind of like, who cares? Like, are you trying to date that? Like, who cares what someone else will or will not date? If you're not dating them, who cares? Like, if some random woman who you will never have access to or never date or never want access to says, I don't want to date a man who wears a top hat. Why do you care? That's what she wants to date or not. Like, who gives a? That is what really boggles my mind the most about all of these conversations about, oh, women won't go on coffee dates and they don't want to go to cheesecake. Why do you give a? Like, who cares what random women on the internet say they want to do for a date? You're not dating those women. The only people that it should matter to are the people taking them out on a date. Like, why? It feels like there's this thing where we should all have a mass standard. That's not how the world works. Like, that's not how people work. Like, my standard don't have to be the same as everybody else's, and everybody else's don't have to be mine. And the only people those standards matter to are the people that you're dating. All of that is just so strange to me. If I see some random guy that I don't care to date and will never date say, I don't date black women. Why do I care? I don't date women with dreads. Why would I care? Like, I'm not dating that man. We'll probably never want to or have access to this. This is just a random person on the internet. Why would I care? Now, obviously, there is a point of caring about stuff like that when someone is spewing something dangerous. But if someone is just saying like their dating standard or dating preference, who cares? Like, why are we taking other people's dating standards so personally? Oh my God. He said he wouldn't date a woman with a pink hoodie on, and now I'm offended. And what's wrong with you men? Who gives a y'all? Okay, maybe it's just me. But I really be looking at a lot of this stuff like, who gives a like why do y'all care that some women on the random internet who you will likely never have access to said they don't want to go on a coffee date? Am I missing something? Like, why do we care? I'm so confused. Like, I feel like y'all just want to argue. Like, y'all just want something to, you know what? This goes back to humans are lonely. Y'all just want to argue with people on the internet because at least it's interaction, I guess. Because I cannot make heads or tails of why we are arguing over random strangers' dating standards. I just don't get it. I really don't. Like, child, look. Nikki's dating tip should be no, all y'all gonna be single. Because apparently I got all the wrong ideas, child. Nikki's dating tip should be a series would be better than Kevin Samuel. I got all the wrong ideas. Don't listen to me, okay? Can I take you to, you know what? Exactly. I won't have to deal with that person. I just keep scrolling. Danny, that's exactly what I be thinking. If you don't like it, scroll, bitch, scroll. Like, who cares? I come across all kind of stuff online that I don't like or don't agree with. My day keeps going. Like, who cares? It is the strangest thing to me. Your standards are too high and that's unrealistic and regular men don't make who cares? Like, why y'all talking? Why y'all talking? What will it do for your life if that person says, oh, okay, I'll date the bus driver, how does that affect your life? Are they dating you? I really just be, sometimes I feel like the only sane person in the world. So that probably means I'm the only insane person in the world. Because you know what they say about stuff like that. But I really just be sitting around like, people are lonely. And they just have no one to talk to. So they argue on the internet. Because at least it's interaction. At least it's connection. It's kind of like the little kid that has a crush on somebody, so they bully him and pick on them. Like, that's what it reminds me of. Like, folks just want to interact. They do. And even if it's an argument, even if it's something stupid, even if it's something petty, even if it's something mundane, even if it's something that will never affect them, they just want to interact. No, people are sad. What the hell are y'all talking about? I once went out with a woman dressed like a man. She was a looker. Child, that's my cue. That's my cue to sign out of here. We done spiraled to all kind of stuff. I didn't even get through all my thoughts, but I'll save it for the full video. But I try to kind of reel it in and not make my videos too long. But this might be a long one because I'm going to do one video because it's all the same topic. So I'm not breaking up each docu series. This is going to be one video. But hopefully, yeah, because I'm just going to do an edited video, not live. So hopefully I'll have it up by y'all know how this go when I say I'm going to do something by a certain time. But I will tentatively say Sunday. Because I'm likely not going to film and edit in the same day. But thank you guys for showing up for the live. And if you're lonely and desperate, seek professional help. Not online gurus that are going to charge you $2,000. Okay? But thank y'all so much. And oh yeah, I meant to get you guys' opinion. Now, who is TP? When TP came out and encouraged women to be okay, Tyler Perry. When Tyler Perry came out and encouraged women to be okay dating, marrying a man who can only pay a light bill, I definitely didn't agree, but I kept scrolling. Didn't affect me because I didn't. Exactly, Danny. I could care less what anybody telling anybody about dating. Because I'm going to date how the hell I want to date. So everybody can say whatever. Like, I'm with you, child. I just keep scrolling. Like, and I have no idea why people want to bicker and argue and all that other stuff. It makes no sense. Date with common sense. You know what? Don't date with common sense. Date however the hell you gonna date. Like, look. As my philosophy is, people can do whatever they want to do as long as you're not hurting or exploiting nobody. So if you don't want to date with common sense, don't date with common sense. Do whatever the hell you want to do. Just don't hurt, exploit, and make sure everything is consensual, and just do whatever the hell you want to do. But I was signing off, and then I had a thought, and then I got sidetracked by that comment. What was I saying? I can't remember. I can't remember. But yeah. Date without common sense, but see, that's the point, Equalizer. It don't affect you. If people want trouble, let them have their trouble. If people want to date without like, how does that affect? It don't affect us. I'm just not one for unsolicited advice. Like, let everybody do. I'm not one to be like, everyone should do this and you should know. People should do whatever the hell they want to do. Like, whatever the hell they want to do. Don't make me know, never mind. But I will see you guys in the next one. This was fun, even though I didn't get to all my points because I got sidetracked by the comments for like an hour. But y'all will get me fully running my mouth on this topic when I do the video. Yes, it affects a girl's father. Trust me. What are y'all talking about? What do I be missing? You want it out. Oh, yeah, I did want y'all opinions. Danny, baby. See, we be here. We be here. I wanted y'all opinion because I got a comment about something the other day where someone was talking about the crazy documentaries that I cover, like Tinder Swindler, Our Father, and all them little, I can't remember all of them, all them little documentaries. And they were pretty much saying that they would want my core content on my channel to be these crazy documentaries. And that's fine with me. Like, is that what y'all would want? Because then that's just less work for me. Because that means I ain't got to cover all the movies and the TV shows. But that was just one person. So I figured I would get everybody's opinion. Would y'all prefer? Which it doesn't mean I would only do documentaries, but that would be the main thing that I do, would be the documentaries. So I wanted to get everybody's opinion. Would that be the main core thing that everybody would want to see on the channel? So think about it. Drop it in the comments. Let me know. We got this documentary coming up. And then, hey, maybe I ain't got to do no work to the next documentary. Thank y'all. And good night. And remember, don't fall for nobody promising you a soulmate.